question.
At least do the intro. Like,
Okay.
Everybody introduce themselves.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Guys, I guess since we're on your show.
No, they're on ours. So it's me.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, everybody.
Okay.
You got M and me. This is Am. She's representing for Dyckman Podcast.
I am.
I'm Red. I'm representing for Dyckman Podcast. And then we have our guest here.
Ease.
Ease.
Hey, one of those all Scott.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Now
so I didn't
ahead.
quite. So what was your name?
Red.
Red.
Yeah, baby.
Like R-E-D. That's
R-E-D.
okay.
Red.
M.
Yeah.
Like the letter just M.
No, it's for Emily.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. But
So
So
y'all want to get into this femininity and masculinity?
Listen, I actually have no issue with that, and I'm just gonna say that off.
All
Right?
right, let's start. No, that's a good point.
This is a disclaimer.
Well, why don't you have an issue with it?
I think it's because I've grown out of a lot of external influences that I'm like, is this a topic now? Because it's always been like male and female.
Right.
So I'm like, why are we're not reworking the wheel, right? So I'm like, okay, I have no issue with it. If some people are like, I want to be this, okay, great. I want to be that, great. Hold space. We're all allowed to do that shit, so go ahead. But it is interesting to hear, because I did get a chance to listen to your old episode talking about like certain artists and how it's part of certain situations, right? Like where it feels like they have to do it. What Bad Bunny spoke about. What it was discussed.
But I think
Lil
it's
Nas, and I'm like, okay, great. I get where we're going with that. Got it. That I understand, because it's not old school femininity and masculinity. It's like, is this? It's
evolving.
Completely
But I
different.
think that's a different topic, right? But I think your statement is a very neutral statement, right? Like, it doesn't bother me, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, I'm sure there's certain things you expect of men, right? When you're dating, are you single dating?
No,
right?
I'm not single. I'm actually dating.
Dating, right?
I'm not dating. I'm completely.
A word?
Yeah, she's gonna
She's gonna kill me. I'm fully in my.
Cut the tape. We're done. We're done.
You gonna watch this video like you
I'm
what?
completely married. I'm completely married.
Yeah,
I'm completely married.
Okay,
But
okay.
I do expect him to be the man for me.
Okay.
Well, so
But I
what
see-
are your expectations for your man?
He's masculine.
Okay.
He has.
I mean, like, does he
Define
chop
that.
with his
What-
hands? Does he
No,
like lift
he's
cars?
in
Like, what's
construction? He's a sneakerhead by like hobby.
okay?
But he's been in construction. I like men who work with like with their hands, right? So
Okay.
like labor, but he's also very
and
smart.
the mic.
But I'm not taking that from him. You get what I'm saying? But does he get manicures? Yeah, because that's hygiene.
Okay.
He just doesn't get polished.
All right.
And I give him that. Like, don't get polished. Okay, great. Like,
Wait, would the polish make a difference to you?
it does only if you want to keep it shiny for a little
No,
bit.
I'm saying, would it make a difference to you? Would you
No.
look at him like, so? All right, you're okay with them
What
doing?
we're not going to do is
It's-
add a color. We don't
So
need
no
that.
colors.
No, and we don't need it to be gel either.
Why not? He's a masculine man.
But he doesn't want it, so I'm okay with that.
No,
I mean, but
I
what
know.
if he
I
didn't
know.
want it?
It does. It
He's
seems like you don't want it.
But if he were to say, "I want to get lavender," I'm like, "Okay, great. Is that your thing?" But then I have questions like, "What the fuck is going on?"
What's
here?
happening here?
Yeah, like-
You gotta
So
tell
all
me.
right, but so now,
So I'm
so
like,
now,
is this more going into an artistic way? Like, is it like a creative thing? But
so
also
now, but
he's
but
not.
now I'm
So like,
now I'm
what the
sensing
fuck is
issues though.
going
Now
on?
I'm sensing issues because you do have standards for masculinity,
Yeah, for
right?
my
Okay,
partner,
okay,
yes.
okay.
For
But
my
that doesn't
partner,
mean that she
yes.
has issues.
No,
with
it-
it.
No, I'm saying
I
if
think
she
that's
if she
just
had
not her
if
taste.
he
I've
was
asked him to get an ear piercing because I think it would look good on him.
okay.
He won't get it. Okay, great.
Oh,
I
he
mean,
don't
I
got, he
think
don't got
that-
his ears pierced?
From years ago, you know how you have like that hole, but it's
Yeah.
not still there, so you gotta re-pierce it.
Okay.
You know how during the era of high school, everybody had earrings, so that was.
Nah, I'm saying if you don't got his ears pierced, he thugged out. Yeah, that's a man.
Yeah,
That's a
so-
man.
No, but like the polish.
don't
the
think
colors,
so.
No,
What?
he doesn't like it, and that's it. So I don't have a issue with that.
You chiming on? What's up with you? What's up with your love life?
Because
You
she's trying to
si-
chime in from
yeah,
over there
you-
so bad.
You single?
Yeah, I'm
Dating?
single.
Single?
Yeah.
Why are you
What's up?
single?
I honestly have never.
Oh.
What was funny about that?
I laughed too.
Me?
Yeah.
I laughed too.
I'm laughing.
That was her.
That was
that-
a dumb
but-
question.
But I noticed from what I can see is because she's really busy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like she runs this
No, you just-
establishment and is always.
Did you
with
feel attacked by the question?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Well, chop your head off. You
No,
can't.
I
like,
don't-
bro.
I had to defend him like, no, it was me who laughed. Sorry.
I had to
Damn,
throw you under the bus.
shit. It's okay. I felt it. I'll
she's
give
about-
it
she's
to you.
closest to me.
Shit.
She's the closest one to me.
Ooh.
But no, I think that she made a valid point earlier though, where like you know, there's a difference between what you want for your personal relationship and there's a difference of like what you think is acceptable. If you
Exactly.
want for your relationship a certain type of thing, that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you're not okay with it.
Okay.
I feel like that's what the world is missing, though. You know, I
Yeah,
feel like
right.
people are missing that. Okay, just because I don't want that from my personal relationship, that don't mean that I'm not okay with
Exactly.
it. You know? And
Exactly.
I think that that's valid.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I think I think the problem nowadays that we're facing is like, yeah, everyone has their own standards for their dating world, right? But now we're going online and projecting our standards into what you think
Right.
everyone else should be doing, right? And I think that's where you're getting into these debates.
Right.
Like you said, you saw our episode of when we talked about Bad Bunny, and to be honest with you, I was cool with it because where it was done. Like I'm not cool with it. Like I'm not gonna go and kiss a guy and then kiss a girl
I
type
wasn't
shit.
surprised.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. What he's referring to is when Bad Bunny
Yeah,
in the middle of
at
his
his concert, yeah.
kissed a female and then
I was
kissed a
kind of
male,
expecting
just
some shit
for the
like
audience.
But a lot, I did see like when that happened online, like there was a lot of people had issues with it, right? I guess if I'm not that big a fan of him, so I don't really keep up with his.
But question for that.
Hmm?
I wonder which demographic had a huge issue with that. Because I feel like when other artists of, let's say, popular white or whatever it may be, and they're not Hispanic, it's almost like acceptable, right? Madonna did it with Tokisha.
Who?
With Tokisha.
What is that?
That
She's a
Dominican
really
rapper.
famous Dominican
Oh, okay,
rapper.
okay.
Right?
She's
Alright.
a lesbian.
I think other
Yeah,
Didn't Lady Gaga
Madonna
do it
been
too?
like tonguing out everybody for
but
No,
Lady
years.
I
Gaga
know,
do
but
it
that's
too?
not what she's saying. What she's
But it's
saying
a-
is
you know,
nobody
yeah, I
has
get
an
it.
issue
But
when
I'm
Madonna
like,
does
for
it,
Bad
but
Bunny,
our
the people
culture
who
has
are-
a
yeah.
really big issue
So
when
they,
our artists
exactly.
are doing
So they
it.
took it very like, and for me, I'm like, in quotations, I understand a lot of what's being pushed on us. I was like, oh, I almost expected that.
I mean, but I think
Granted.
it's more acceptable because Madonna's a woman. Like, it's more acceptable for a woman to be gay than a guy to be gay.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, like,
I mean, no, people are giving Tokisha a really fucking
But are we
hard
talking about
time.
them being gay
The
or just
Dominican
from
Republic.
the
Is she?
female.
But is she a
Okay.
straight? She's a straight female.
No, yeah, she's female. No, she's gay. Well,
I don't know.
she's on.
See, but if you're
spectrum.
gay and you're already kissing another girl, like
Nah,
what's
but
like?
they just have an issue with like the way that she expresses her sexuality.
I just wonder
She's
if that's really her
very,
sexuality or
out
if
there.
it's
I gotta
pushed.
see a picture of this girl, man.
she's very like you got to think like a street Lady Gaga.
Right.
Like Lady Gaga's a little more elevated, more eloquent. She's more street.
I just feel
but
like that's
still,
something that
like,
she
very-
sells.
like a Billie Eilish.
That persona.
I mean, I've seen a lot of her interviews, honestly, because
She's
I
a good-
really
she's-
no,
she's a-
but I'm
she
saying I
sounds
don't
like
think it's a
she's,
persona.
you know.
I think it's like that's really who she is. I just think it's another side of who
Coming
she
from
is.
where she's coming from.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's really who she is. But our community has a, we're Dominican, and a lot of our
You guys are all Dominican?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
There's we can be conservative, so
Extremely conservative.
Yeah.
Dominicans?
yeah.
Oh yeah, like with
religious
I don't know.
wise.
And
Okay.
when it comes to our,
Well, you
when it
guys
comes
are-
to biases,
Yeah, and you guys are
Extremely.
thinking of American Dominicans. It's very different from being
Well,
from the
I say, 'cause
actual country.
from
Yeah.
what I've seen is that like even the Dominican men are real. Is it flamboyant? Is the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, flamboyant.
They're on the line. I'd be like, all right, these dudes could go either way.
but you missed what she just said.
Nah, yeah, I get it. Like, but I'm just
that's
it's
different out there too. Like
but
completely.
but are the Dominicans in America given the same judgment as the Dominicans back in DR?
I don't think so.
No, hell no. Because I think the idea is like, oh, nah, she's American though. You know what I mean?
So they
Like
do
when
that.
I go to
That's the
DR and I
country-
do
that's the place where
whatever,
everybody's free
people
and
are
freedom.
like, well, she's
whatever.
American.
Who gives a fuck?
Like she's
Yeah.
American. She's just like my family specifically. They let me get away with a lot because they're like, well, she's more of the American way. Like, she's
Okay.
The American
But yo, do you
way.
feel like they're still judging you behind like your
Yeah,
back?
I think that's gaslighting in a sense. of
No,
saying,
that
oh,
is.
that's the
They're
American way.
gaslighting.
Like,
Yeah,
what?
like that's not. She doesn't get that from our culture.
Yeah,
she gets
that's
that because she's
right.
born
Like
in
that's
America.
what.
Okay,
That's
I
not
see.
serious.
It's their
Yeah.
way of just kind of like,
brushing it off, but it's a thing. Like they're literally more conservative out there,
yeah.
even from politics to education to literally everything.
That's so surprising to me. But yeah, but yo, my only real knowledge of Dominicans are from the ones I see in America. You feel me?
Which is very poor knowledge. Not to come at you, but it's what
Came,
you see.
you came.
No, but honestly,
No,
it's
but
what,
it's what you see.
Yeah.
And it's really not like.
it's-
I mean, yo, they're not, like,
and I don't
teach-
know- I'm not.
They're not teaching Dominican Republic history
No.
like in social studies. So
And
I
it
mean,
shouldn't,
like,
and
No,
it
but
shouldn't because this is
I think
not
she's just
our
saying-
land,
Bro,
the
you-
country where we're from.
I don't even think
you
I'm.
would learn that
my-
if you
I'm-
want to.
I met my first Dominican like when I was like 15, 16.
That's valid.
Okay.
Because it was
Exactly.
mad Puerto Ricans, like where we're
Yeah.
from.
To be completely honest with you, there's a lot of Dominicans who don't even know their true history because that's something that if you were not born there to go to school and learn it, like where they teach you, right?
Yeah, it's not like
You're not
America
gonna
sitting here
be-
teaching
You're not
you
going to learn
shit.
it here because it's like that's not what is supposed to be taught in our curriculums in school, right?
Yeah.
But you, as a member of what your culture would be, your heritage is your part to learn it. Right? I was born there, but I was raised here, and I
Okay.
didn't miss a beat of Spanish. I just had to learn English.
Okay.
But it's not my duty. Like my thing is books and reading. So my duty is to learn about not only just my culture but world culture, what goes on here, and just everywhere else. So,
I mean, do you think it's the same in Brazil? Do you think it's like separated between Brazilians and like
absolutely,
Americanized
American
Brazilians?
yeah. Because the whole
Wait,
That was them.
He's Brazilian.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're doing a good job.
No, because I'm like, what happened to my country happened
Right.
everywhere else.
Yo, I'm gonna be.
Divided was
I'm
set on
gonna be real
purpose.
with you. Like Brazil itself is a very religious country, but that's like, enforced by
Actually, want to go to
slave
Brazil and
owners,
go
all
to
that, all that other shit, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
But to be real with you, my whole life growing up, my family's been pretty liberal as fuck.
That's nice.
Okay.
Like where I always have one though, because like I'm one of 3 boys, right? I'm the oldest. I got my parents only had
I'm
boys,
the
right?
oldest of 3 girls too. I
So
get
yo,
it.
like it was like a free for all type of shit. Yo,
Right.
my mom was like, and my dad was cool with everything. You feel me? Oh, you want to have somebody over? Yeah, cool.
Go
Just
ahead,
like
that's cool.
yeah, just don't bring a kid home. You
Right.
feel that?
right.
But
All kids do.
yeah, but they never gave me like issues. You know what I'm saying? Like they was just like, yo, whatever. Like that's what he doing. Like, yo, as long as like I handle my shit and I
Right.
wasn't being like messy or sloppy about it, or wasn't
Because I feel like no one's parents want them to be out on the street. That's
Like,
something that
like,
they're not
I'm-
gonna tell you. So
I'm-
don't be sloppy with it.
I mean, sorry, not do you think that was because you guys are a boy household though?
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
sometimes I wonder if my mom had a daughter.
Yeah.
If
If it
like
would've
she would
been-
treat her the same way, because
Do you have-
that is a big issue like in that country from what I heard is like obviously I think that's every culture, right?
Yeah.
Like boys just
Yeah.
get like they're allowed they get the green light for a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
shit,
yeah, that's something like
Yo,
we're
I'm
not
be real with you.
reinventing that wheel that's been going
because
on
like
for
even if
centuries.
I got 2 sons.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
What's up?
Amen.
I don't think your family has just boys.
Yeah, you got
Damn.
I can teach y'all the secret if y'all ever want a boy,
Go ahead,
but
put them on. What's the secret?
I don't care to know.
I
Okay.
want to
What
I
is
actually
the
want to
secret?
know.
What
She
is
don't
the-
wanna know,
there's
she
a
wanna know.
secret,
That's
there's a
not-
secret. What is the secret?
I can't just
You can't
I
say
gotta
on
charge for that. I tell y'all off camera. You feel me? It's like family secret.
I
It's
won't be
family
asking.
secret.
All right, then you gotta have all daughters. That's on you. You live with that.
Wait, but did you grow up around females though? Like, do you have female cousins? Like, or
A
was it
couple,
just
a
straight
couple.
up like men and then your mom?
Nah, I got cause I was born in Brazil, so I moved here when I was 9. But I did have female cousins over there, but over here, like it's just me. Like we're the first ones out of my family to come
Okay.
here, so there's like we don't have
Did you
any.
get to see? I'm sorry to cut you off. Did you get to see the way like the way that they were raised, or like did you see any differences? That's what I'm asking. Like,
compared to my female cousins.
yeah.
I didn't get to personally see it,
Okay.
but from what like I've seen them now and like I talked to them, they definitely seem like they have a way more conservative lifestyle than
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
But then I got male cousins out there that are on the same type of time I'm on. You feel me? Like just
Mm.
having fun and all that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Like at that age. So, but I don't know if it's like, but it's a different like breed of women in another country compared to America too. You feel me?
Yeah.
I feel like women in different countries sometimes like hold themselves to kind of like a higher level of accountability,
yeah.
and they're, and not as fluid and free as women in America. And it
Okay.
could
I
be
think
just a
that's a
cultural
fact.
thing where it's
It
like,
is
Do
a
you
cultural
think
thing.
that
It's a
means that
religious
they well, you said they hold themselves to a higher
There's
Do you
a
mean
religious
standard or
influence
just
in there,
like-
though.
I mean, a accountability standard, however you want to take. You know what I mean? Like they're
Okay.
And I think overall, women are held to a different standard. Like
Yeah.
it's not accepting for women to do certain things. It's not accepting for women.
I think it is
to
in
be
America.
presented be presented
Because
a certain
that's
way.
what it's
But I think
supposed
like
to be.
the difference over here, where we just want everybody to be free and be okay with anything.
That's our
So
thing,
then,
right?
I think that's where the
Mimosas are
separation
smacking.
comes into play.
Right.
But then there's goods and there's
Well,
bad
your
to
background, your family's African.
it. No, my mom is from Barbados.
Oh
My-
shit, you're
yeah.
Caribbean.
Yeah, my dad is
from
Haitian.
Barbados
Oh,
and Haitian.
fire!
Haiti,
I don't know why
right
I
there.
thought he said something else. Oh, that's fucking
I'm
fire.
African,
He
man.
told you not to hold him to it, and you damn. See,
Oh, I didn't hear
At
that
least I
part.
That's
know how
crazy.
to.
I
That's
didn't hear that
crazy.
part.
I
That's
know
what
how
thought.
to keep my mouth.
Nah, I'm not African. I mean,
So wait, are you first generation American?
yeah, first generation.
But you
So I'm the
was
only one
born-
born
but
you
here.
was born
my
here.
family came. My family
Yeah, but
came
you're
over
first
here.
generation,
Yeah,
right?
first
Like you're
generation, yeah.
growing
that
up,
considered
you was
first
just, like,
generation?
immigrant mentality.
Pretty much, yeah.
so
Yeah,
my
100%.
kids is first generation American.
Yeah. 'cause
Okay,
they're-
all right.
Yeah, but it's a little difficult. Yes, by birth, but they're not gonna deal with like the shit that we dealt with of having to like learn American culture and then like
Okay, I see what you're saying.
coincide with our
Yeah, 'cause
parents
everybody
who
have a
don't have
foot
that
in.
because you came at a young age, so you have that
Yeah, yeah.
knowledge and stuff. They're not gonna have to deal with that. Versus like that's why I'm asking if you're first generation, because I know there's a difficulty when like your parents are dead ass like from a different country.
But I
and
mean, I think it
you're-
would be harder for him because he was born there, so he brought that over at 9 years old.
I'm real deal.
Not learning a different
Real deal.
not knowing a different language and like having to
No,
learn
I'm saying
a
for
different
his
culture.
kids,
Same.
it's a different battle than
Right.
like let's say your
Ours, you mean?
yeah,
The ones that we
Yeah,
have?
100%.
that,
Yeah,
because like you know what I
100%.
mean. Like I'm constantly battling with my mom. Like
It's different over here.
it's
you know?
different. Like it's so different here. Your kids aren't really gonna battle so
Do you,
much.
do you
with
have
that.
do you have brothers?
Yes, I do.
How does your parents treat your brothers compared to you?
My family's a little different because
Isn't
Well,
it?
how old is your brother? Isn't he a baby?
no, I have two. One, my older brother passed away, and then my younger brother's 15. But I
Rest in
come
peace.
from like a different family, so how do I explain it? My mom is the only girl. She has 8 brothers, I think.
Damn.
But my
Yeah,
family
they was fucking back in the day,
Dang.
bro. I'm telling you.
But my family is just like very
They just wanted to reproduce.
they're like
Oh.
very like pro women. Like the women in our family, as much as there are men, we rule shit. Like we do what they are because we come from like
From being the only female out of 8 boys, like what else do you expect?
nah,
That's
but
a lot
like
of
we're
fucking-
very strong women, and it's okay to be
You have
like
to fight
strong
8
in
brothers
our family.
probably. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
definitely
lot
the
of shit.
case,
Like
you know?
yo,
So we're not
Yeah.
like
Conditioning.
held. Like for example, my mom was never like, you gotta dress conservatively or whatever the fuck.
be in the
Like,
kitchen and all
I
that
was
extra
I
shit.
always had guy friends growing up, and my mom always like people would tell her like, "Yo, she's you." I seen her with like 3 different niggas this week, and my mom would be like, "Okay, and she don't like being with girls, like
Right.
you know what I'm saying." But she grew up with niggas, and like that was okay around.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like in my family, we hold women to men's standard. Like if my uncles were,
Ooh.
yeah, like we do. We don't play that shit. Like if
You
my
think- you-
brother could get $1 million, I could get 2. You know what I'm saying?
That's
It
why
wasn't-
she holds
No,
down
but
the-
all right,
it
when
wasn't
you
like
say
that.
when you hold in your family, y'all hold the women to male standards. Like, do you mean like you like as far as duties as well, like household duties and stuff like that? Like,
yeah. I mean, my
Or do you-
mom. How do I
masculine
explain it?
They
responsibilities.
I think what she's trying to say, they don't hold them to like the traditional standards of like you be at home, stay
just
at
go
home.
find a
know.
man. Just go
Yeah,
find a
just go
rich
find a
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
I
they
was
don't hold them
never
down to
ever
those
taught that.
standards, yeah.
Hell no. My
Yeah,
mom
but
was
you-
always like, "Yo, build your own empire and find a nigga that got one. Don't
Yeah.
pay
Do
that
you-
shit."
But do you think that's beneficial to you?
Oh yeah,
Because
I
like
mean,
yo, because what? Well, here's why,
I think
right?
it'll be beneficial to everyone to say like,
No,
don't,
I
don't
understand where
depend
he's
on
coming
the-
from.
No,
Hold
but
on,
yo-
let him
that.
speak.
I
I
So what I'm
understand.
saying, what I'm saying is, what a complaint that I often hear from women nowadays is, it seems like women are more single than ever before, and this is just what I see online and just interactions with, because I work with a lot of women, right? They're complaining that they can't find a man, right?
Mhm.
But I also know that this type of mentality is being promoted to women nowadays. Like, yo, you don't need a man, right? Like, go do what you got to do.
Mhm.
But y'all are getting fed this stuff, right? Where it's like, yo, you don't need a man, but you want a man, right? You don't need one, but you want one, right? But you guys are all single. But like, do you think the fact that you're having to like trouble finding relationships because is this type of mentality? Because like obviously like women are not getting married how they used to, right? They're not having kids how they used to, right? So it's like, but I think instinctually, right? You guys want to in the inside. I think it's like,
This part of our
DNA.
yeah,
type-
it's part of our.
So it's like you're kind of going against what
Right.
is inside of you, right? And I feel like, is that causing like some unhappiness in you?
I think it's a 2-parter. but go ahead.
I was just about to say it's a 2-parter. One, I was never taught that I don't not to want a man or that I don't
Right,
need a man. I was
right.
never taught that. That's not what I was taught.
Okay.
And I do hold on. It does make it difficult in the sense that a lot of men don't know how to deal with a woman like me. Yes, absolutely. But it's not that I don't walk around like I don't need I'm an alpha woman. It's not that I'm sitting here like I can't be with an alpha. It's not that. I think men naturally feel intimidated when they're around a woman like me.
Okay.
I honestly believe that.
You think
And-
it's natural intimidation, or do you
I
think it's
think-
actual intimidation?
No, I think
I
it's
think it's-
natural. It's not on purpose, and I've never blamed a man. Like
Right.
I think we are programmed from a very young age. Men are programmed to be above women in certain things.
Yeah.
So when they find a woman that's up to par with them, it's really natural to just feel like, oh shit, like you know what I'm saying? Like I've really dealt with some guys like trying to like shit on me, and it's gotten to my head.
Right.
What you mean?
But
Shit
then-
on you how?
Shit on me like you ain't never gonna be shit, or like
Like literally
Like,
said,
that's
like
just
literally
weird,
said those
Yeah,
words
like
to you.
I've been in situations where it's like I can't build an empire with you, or I can't do that. But then it took time for me to like exit from that and be like,
Right.
oh shit, like I'm like 4 years younger than this nigga, and I have 10 times more than he will ever, and I'm 4 years younger. You know, sometimes, and I don't blame the guy for even
Right.
saying that, because I think it is nature. Like I think subconsciously, like they feel intimidated. Like, oh,
I
know
understand.
what I'm saying?
I do understand that, but let me ask you this, right? So, say you're dating a guy that's older than you, but
Mhm.
you've acquired more success than him, right?
hmm
Do you think that you're saying that it intimidates him? Which is that like, is he saying this? Or is this like a thought that you're thinking?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I've had it happen to me, and in the moment it worked. I thought less of myself. I was like, oh shit, like I'm not.
No, not like the. I'm
That's what I'm
assuming.
saying. It wasn't a thought in my head, like, oh, he's
Someone
intimidated.
actually said it out loud.
In the moment, I believed what he said. I'm saying,
No,
it
no,
took me going
I'm
away.
actually asking. Like, I guess I was thinking of a different type of relationship where like the guy's not telling you like you're not gonna be shit, right?
Oh,
But
okay.
you're like dating a guy that you're financially doing better than, right?
Mm-hmm.
But are you kind of having an issue with it, and you're thinking that he is? You know what I'm saying? Like, if he's not really projecting like insecurities into you, he's like, say you're dating someone and he's not as successful as you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's not really making it known that he's having an issue, and maybe he doesn't, right? But what sometimes what I find is that women have an issue that they're doing better than the men because they have certain expectations for that man to be, you know, at this level of success. But it's like, yo, why am I dating you, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm financially better than you.
So it's perception.
I don't even think it's like just have the expectations for the man. I also think it's like the fact that she's in a different place than he is. You know, imagine
it's
if
an
like
expectation for herself too.
yeah, like if imagine you're like a business owner and you're able to just drop at a dime and be like, you know, I'm going to DR real quick, and he can't do that because you're 9 to 5, right? I'm just saying, like, let's just say it happens. Like
I'm more
right?
of a slave than
Like, you're
anybody.
able-
Not
9 to
even
5,
9 to 5,
trust
so
me.
you could have a 9 to 5 that allows you to be like, yo, I'm dipping because I have a 9 to
Yeah.
5 that allows
Only
me
the
to be
business
like,
is actually what doesn't let
They
you
hire?
trust him.
Yeah.
They hiring? My job don't work like that.
I'll get you
You
that.
gotta
re-
put PTO in.
I gotta
like,
request
request
that.
the
I gotta
time and
request
shit.
that shit 3 months ahead of time.
Not even just like, yo, I got something to do. I'm a dip. Okay.
Nah, my job ain't like that.
We
but
even
I
have
mean,
a 30-day passport where you can
Was
take
she
care
working
of.
at the trap? Like, how,
Nah,
just
nah,
take
I
days
got
off
you.
like that?
I got you afterwards.
nah, but I'm saying like, you know, sometimes it's just the flexibility. You know, like
Right,
he
it
may
is.
not have the understanding like, okay, this is the things that comes along with being an entrepreneur and being a business owner. So
Right.
it could create some frustration for you. Or what if like, you know, he's not making certain things financially or meeting you where you're at financially, and you're gonna have to come out of pocket more often. But you're seeing bitches online saying, okay, like this is my nigga bought me this, my nigga bought me that, my nigga's paying for this, my nigga's paying for that, and you're like, damn, my nigga ain't doing none of that shit. And then you start feeling some type of way.
This
about
nigga's a
it.
bump.
Yeah, you start feeling some type of way about that shit. And you're like, yo, like, I want a nigga that's gonna flex on me too. You know, spend a bag on me too. I feel like sometimes the problem is that, you know, I may be wrong because I'm a
Yeah,
guy.
because I'm like, maybe that's the perspective. Like, maybe not everyone wants their guy to spend a band
Right.
on a bag when they can probably spend it on an asset. Like, maybe
What if he
gold
got?
and
Yo,
silver.
what if he's got the asset and he could spend the band?
Then do that on gold and silver. I'm just saying, or something that's an
Right.
actual asset.
But
Maybe I don't need any more bags. I don't want any more bags.
I mean, but that's you, right? But
That's
there's
what I'm
some
saying,
people
it's like a
there's some
perspective.
people
That's
that
what
want
I'm
it.
like,
Like,
it just
I
depends,
get
and
what
that's
you're
why I
saying,
understand what she's saying.
But I
like,
also
dead ass.
think that
That's the majority. I think.
I know what you're saying,
Right.
and I think that's pushed in both directions.
Yeah,
Like, I think
it's social media.
there's
It's what they
certain
push on
women
you.
right now that are like, oh, men should be doing this, that, and the third.
Right.
And then I see a lot of men pushing towards that too. Like, oh, women nowadays should do this,
Right,
that, and the third.
right.
And like, give me this, that, and the third. Like,
I
think it
mean,
goes
to be
both
honest,
But I feel like they're
realistically,
saying
I
that.
feel like it's more pushed towards women and where guys need to be financially. I think
I don't
guys are
see that.
definitely more.
I think you're a man and you see
Right.
that attack, because as a female, I feel the attack
Do
more
do you
often.
think that guys are
What
more
what
accepting?
attack do you feel?
I feel that all the time. I see that on social media. Like, guys are always like, especially New York niggas, like, they're just always like, so what are these bitches doing for us nowadays? Like, it's time
Nah,
for me
that's
to
a
do something like
fact
that.
though. Like,
But
what are they
that's
doing
I'm
for
saying.
us?
What are you?
Like,
No, but
what's
that's-
really happening here? You
I
feel
know,
me?
but that's what I'm
What
saying.
is really
Like,
happening here?
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's a push on both ways. But
Yeah.
I feel like if I see something as a female, I'm gonna feel triggered versus if you're seeing something as a guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Right, right.
we could both look at the same content and we're gonna take it the wrong way.
100%.
Different ways.
A
I
Because
think.
the
1000%.
content
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
intended for that, though. It's for whoever's watching it to have an emotional response to it.
But
and
what I'm
be
talking
like,
about, I feel like
"This is
primarily primarily men aren't pushing women in a financial
That's
space.
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You
Like-
feel that, and
But-
that's not it. Because
Do you think men are pushing women in a
I
financial
do. That's
space?
what I'm trying,
Really?
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm
Okay.
trying to say that I think if we looked at the same timeline and we
Yeah.
just scrolled, you at the end of the timeline would have certain things that you stayed with, and I at the
Right.
end of the timeline would have certain things that I stayed with. Because I personally, I see the attack all the time.
I think the
on
attack is
women.
more reactive than proactive. So, like, I think men aren't the ones that are out here saying, I want women like that. I think the only reason why men are saying, what do you bring to the table is because women saying, I want a nigga that got this, got that, got the next.
And I
got the
think that's
third.
a fair
And so
question.
they're answering that shit, right?
Yo, you
so
know
I
what-
think on the
But I
back
think
end,
that's a fair
Yo,
question.
at the end of this shit, we should all go down each other's timelines to see what's really up.
but I think on the back end, like, niggas aren't out here broadcasting the type of, most of the time niggas saying like they want a woman that's feminine. They want a woman that's gonna, not be a nigga at the end of the day. Like, it's more so not financially what she brings to the table or monetary wise what she brings to the table, but what can you pour into me and what could you pour into the relationship? Like, can you meet me emotionally halfway kind of thing? And I don't think
never
women
heard
are
a man say that a day in my life.
in so many words. Like, in so many
I don't.
words.
Normal.
It honestly could also be like a locational issue. You feel me?
Yeah, I was just gonna
no,
say
Yo,
that.
yo, but this is
Hold
this is
on,
but this
I'm sorry.
but this is what I was saying. Like, they live in New York, right? And like, even then, everything's different. Everything's very different state by state, and similar at the
City
same
by
time,
city,
right?
Yeah.
But I feel like like the way they view dating over here is a lot more open than how we view dating over there, right? And it's to certain standards, right? But how their expectations of women over here may be different than our expectations for women over there, right? Yo, I'll tell you what I see on my timeline is like a lot of women from New York City do complain that like these dudes are bums out here and they're
But
they're
why?
not doing. I
Is it because
I didn't personally
they're not
ask
meeting
them.
them at the I want this, I want that stage, I want this bag, this shoe.
Well,
this flight,
what I
this
what I
ring,
see
this,
from like
this,
women
and this,
from
and this,
bigger
and this.
cities is like they're kind of like on their shit, like they have their own business and stuff like that, right?
That's dope.
And then
That's
no,
dope.
which is dope, but they're having an issue with dating regular dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so let me ask you.
No, wait,
two.
I'm sorry. I just want to go back to
ahead.
what you just said right now.
Okay.
Because you just said that you feel like men want females that are like more feminine and that will like cater to their emotional needs and stuff like that. And I, as a New Yorker, I've
Yeah.
never had a man ask me for that.
I don't think niggas know how to articulate that.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I think women in New York are in a place where we really are trying to nurture men and teach them that, hey, can you please like have this emotional side to you? Because
Okay.
like allow me to like remove
Bro, our
all
city
the
is so rough.
traumatic. Yeah, no.
can't
But I
even-
think we're finally at a place. I really do believe that. Like we're finally at a place where
Okay.
we're like, we all come from having to be hard
Yeah.
and having to be this.
That's what I'm saying.
And specifically women are like, we understand that like your men in this city are so fucking built to just not feel. And we're at a place where we're like, okay, can we nurture you? Can we go to therapy? Like, is that a thing? I understand that you're like this because you were taught not to like,
Yeah.
express yourself, but can we do it? Like, can we do
I mean,
it
but
at
are you
home?
providing a safe space for that? Like,
Ooh.
for example,
like
right?
at home.
Ooh. Bars.
Personally, right?
Right.
Personally, right? So for me, I just got out of a
You
relationship,
see
like a
me?
5-year relationship.
You see me?
And my biggest gripe with her was the fact that, she wanted me to open up. She hated when I was closed off. She hated me being like a man and stereotypically man, right? Because I'm bottling up emotions. But when I bring shit to you, you're not listening, right? When I try to explain myself to you, you're being combative. You're getting defensive, saying that it turns from my problem to now how I'm making you feel with my problem, right? And then also outside of that, I just don't feel like the environment is like a place for me to even open up to you, like, can I trust you with my emotions? So like, my question is like, is the environment a place where he'll feel comfortable enough? Like, yeah, it's easy to say, talk to me. But if you don't know me, I could say, yo, tell me your deepest, darkest secrets. I'm like, fuck you, nigga. Like, I don't know you, right?
Yeah.
But I also, obviously, I have to facilitate an environment for you to be like, I could trust this guy with like how I really feel. I could really tell her how I'm really feeling. And I feel like that's what's lacking. You guys want that, but what work are you putting in to actually get that?
I mean, I think I think that's really like
Oh,
I
walk
think-
off, yo, walk off.
I mean, I don't want to just speak on about how I am with mine, but
yeah.
in my home we meditate. There's like a meditation.
Yeah, that's what I was
corner.
gonna say. I feel like
There
you
is,
had an
like, a plant
experience,
corner.
Okay.
but
So we
that's
are-
not
I-
everybody's experience.
Right,
And that's
but that's
not
why
how
I said
every
only for
woman-
me. That's
woman
something like
is.
I wouldn't have anything to say. But in my home, but that's something that I've also learned for me, and I think I'm lucky to have found a partner that I
And
don't need
he's
to
lucky
argue
to
with.
have found a partner like
Right,
you. That's what I'm trying to
Absolutely.
say. I
1000%.
think what
So
you
it
just
kind of like
said
it depends.
was
but I get
your
what you're saying. That's the
worldview.
majority. Like that's
I-
is.
I don't think
sad,
that that's like a
where's
thing.
this-
Nah,
space.
actually, you'd be. I mean, this is obviously from a male perspective, right? What he's talking about is very prevalent amongst a lot of men. A lot of the biggest issue, I think, if we're gonna just talk about emotional state of like relationships right now that men are having, is they don't feel like they're in a safe environment to share their feelings, right?
I can see that.
And this is like, like I said, you know, like you see this online, and this is, but
I'm so sorry to cut you off. I get what you guys are saying, but I want you guys to understand that you're coming from your worldview. Like, for example, you're talking about content.
But
I'm talking about like my worldview is not online.
No,
My
I get,
worldview
no.
is
So
outside.
what I'm saying, no.
So for us
it's
in the
two different
streets,
perspectives.
Like,
but
us,
I was
women
gonna
are
get into
evolving
that.
faster than the men.
Yeah.
And we're wanting to nurture the men in our streets, and they're not letting it happen.
But
That's
but
what I'm saying.
once
but
again,
that's
that's from your view,
Well, that's what I'm telling
right?
you. That's what I'm saying. I'm not anything that I have said. I haven't said it in a general sense. You just
Right.
said you women are not allowing. I'm saying it's not you women. It's
I mean, you make you're
from
part of.
your
I'm a
view.
I'm a stand on what I said. I think it's women as a whole, but I think there's a
okay.
select few
Yeah,
that
I
are
don't think
okay.
it's a select
It's
few. I
very-
think, for
there's-
I think
example,
it's
women
so
in my
diverse.
community. I think we're.
Yo,
I
I think
we're
you're
like-
taking the social media aspect of it like
Yeah.
too literal.
Not
Like,
only the social
What I'm saying
media
is like
aspect.
obviously we talk to people in real life too, right? And we get their perspective. Like obviously we hang out with a lot of dudes, right? That are sharing these issues, right? Because
That's dope.
you ever like seen that issue that women have like, yo, why are you always chilling with your boys? Like, why do you like hanging out with your friends more than me, right? Women have that like, is that a fair statement? Like that some women have that complaint that like their boyfriends, their husband like to hang out with their men, their friends more than their like the actual girl.
I've heard that before, but
All right.
it's understandable. Like you
No,
wanna
but
hang out with your
let me
friends.
explain to you why a lot of these men are having that urge, right? Because when you're hanging out with your friends, right, you're in a safe area. You know, like if you tell your boy, like like this
Absolutely.
is what I'm going through. And I'm sure it's very relatable to women, right? Like sometimes you feel like you can't share certain things with your man, and you gotta go to your girl, right? The thing is, like a lot of dudes are just like going and telling their boys everything. It's like, for some reason, like I'm like the therapist
I feel
sometimes,
like
and
that's a
my
step-
friend.
I think that's a step for y'all if y'all can do.
No,
that,
but
go
that's
to your
that's always
friends.
been the case, right? But the thing is, like, what I'm hearing is like a lot of these dudes want to actually share these issues about their girls to their girls, right? But they feel like every time they do, they're met with hostility, and that's what the point I think he's trying to make. Like, they're not feeling safe enough to because a lot what I hear sometimes from my friends is like my girl, like she just doesn't want to hear it. Anytime I tell her something, like she somehow flips it on me.
That's a two-way street on emotional intelligence. That means
Yeah.
that they both have a lot of work to do.
No,
'Cause
for
they-
sure.
Okay,
For
what
sure.
I'm trying to say
that's
is
emotional intelligence. Because
what
if you
I'm
come
trying to
your
say is, and I
partner-
understand where you guys are coming from, but what I'm trying to say is, the men that I hang out with don't feel safe with the niggas that they chill with. That's what I'm trying to tell
damn.
you. But this is what I'm trying.
So
to
they don't
tell you.
got boys to
It's
vent to,
not
and
the-
they don't got a
it's
girl
not
to
the-
vent
This
to.
is not what I'm trying to say to you, right? I come from a different type of environment. So I personally, all my friends are mostly men, right?
Okay.
And so I'm that sis that they like really, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of them have partners. And they tell me all the time, like, I feel safer at home, or I feel safer when I chill with you, because where we're from here, right? When you're on the block, there's shit that whole like
that's
I
just
feel
free
safe
thing.
around
That's
my
just
boys.
free-
there's a
free
difference,
thing.
though.
That's
That's
what I'm trying to say. That's your environment.
No,
That's
no.
my
Even
environment.
outside of
These
that,
niggas
there's a
don't
difference
feel like
between
they
Like
can
I chill with
talk
niggas with
about
regular
certain
jobs.
you're
things.
not
You feel me?
fucking these
Like,
guys. Like you're not
Yeah,
in a
that's what I'm saying,
relationship
like,
with
yeah,
them.
nah.
So what I'm saying is that it's different with okay,
Can't
you're
relate
a
to the
woman
street
that they
shit.
could
But I
confide
still
in,
be
No,
outside,
right?
I know, but I'm
I
telling you,
grew up in
most
the
of my
streets, but I
guy
work nine to
friends.
five.
No, I get what
Okay.
you're saying. Hold on, one mic. I'm very big on that.
Go ahead.
I get what you're saying, but I'm saying my guy friends feel safer. Like they chill with their girls more often because they feel safer at that. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, so they
My
hang out with
guy
their girls
friends-
more often.
Hell yeah, they be
That's
at
a healthy
home.
relationship.
They like,
And
but that's what I'm
you think
trying to tell you.
they confide to their girls.
Hell yeah,
more
they're
often.
very big on like, yo, I'm always with my mom,
That's dope.
or I'm
That's
always
dope.
with my girl and shit like that, because the environment that we come from, when you're in the street, you got to keep a straight face. You can't talk about like, yo, I'm going through this and that, or financial difficulty or
Right.
nothing. That's what I'm trying to say. In my environment,
Uh,
we're more of like, maybe also because also we're Dominican.
Okay.
I don't agree necessarily with this, but in our culture, we're taught to cater to these men, to be their nurturers,
Right.
to be their ear, to like, what do you have going on? We're actually taught to repress what we have going on because men don't want to hear that. That's what we're taught. I don't.
But I think
can
that's
you
a
say
valid.
that,
That's
Em?
valid though.
I like
I
the
think
sound
that's a
of
valid
that.
point because I
part of our
think
culture.
Shit
I
sound
think
lit.
the problem is that
Okay,
you're
see,
talking.
that
With
sounds lit
exceptions,
for
though,
you, but
absolutely.
then
No,
when
No,
it's
I can
created-
I can see
No, I
the
get what you're
I can
saying,
see the
but
issue
then
for
when
you.
it's
Yeah,
created-
but
do you see what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's valid because it's something that you guys have been missing, but in our culture, it's actually been different. We're taught to to hold whatever's going on for these men and not talk. And I get that that's what you guys want, but then consequently in our culture, what it's created is generations of women who are just fucking holding shit.
That's
like,
why
for
I'm
men.
glad I
Like, we're
broke
just
them
a fucking-
curses.
We're a basket of shit. Like, when you come home and you throw all your problems here at home. Like, that's what it's created for us. And see, you're saying it's valid and shit because that's something that you've been missing, or maybe that's something that you didn't have.
Right.
But for us, it's something that's not even normalized, bro. It's like,
And of course, she's
this
talking
is
about
what-
culturally,
this
not
is
not
culture.
everybody.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Not everybody.
Whatever
but
you
yeah.
guys have been saying, totally valid, and I totally can see where it comes from. It just does not exist in our culture. Our culture has the opposite effect, where women naturally, we're just, even for our brothers,
It's
when
just
we're
taught.
born,
it's
yes,
taught.
we like
Yeah,
when we're
it's
I mean,
just
born.
but I
It's
said
just
that
like
though.
you gotta hold this for your brother, like you gotta do this for, you know what I'm saying? Like that's our thing. That's
I
what
said
I'm saying.
generally. What did I said initially? I said generally as
But
a
it's
whole,
through
this is what it
generations,
is,
too.
and then I said there's a select few. Dominicans
But
aren't
it's
this.
not
Dominicans
select
aren't.
few.
Dominicans aren't the primary.
But I'm not
demographic.
talking about Dominicans. I'm talking about Hispanic culture.
Or
Like, that's-
Hispanic culture is
yeah.
still not
That's-
even the primary.
Spanish is the second
Honestly, but
spoken
honestly-
language because of the number of people, not because of
But
the
I don't
importance of
wanna-
the language.
I'll-
That's what
I'll-
I'm saying. It's a cultural thing.
Right, but you're
But
hanging
it's a
around
lot of
people
the
that are
culture.
like that. That's a
I know.
select few
Here's-
that's within
So here's
your
what
circle.
I'm saying. Okay, that's our culture.
Right.
But then there's Middle Eastern culture. I have a lot
Which
of,
is
you know,
that's
we're
why I'm like,
very
it's not just the
opposite.
Hispanic culture. It's more
not.
of
That's what
that.
I'm
It's
trying
that
to
religious
say.
belief part of
It's the-
what is it,
it's
Christianity or
another-
Catholicism, where
It's not.
this
I'm
is
not
what we
talking.
do.
First of all,
Yeah.
Hispanics.
so I'll keep that out. But it's
by
not just
numbers,
Hispanics.
yeah, it's not just
No, it's
Hispanic.
not
That's what I'm
just
trying to
Hispanic.
say. Like, it's not. I'm not just saying it's like a Dominican thing. Spanish is the second spoken language
Right.
worldwide, and it's not because of importance. Like, English is because of importance. Like, people have claimed it an important language. Spanish is because of the numbers.
Numbers,
So
absolutely.
it's a lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah.
that are going through this, and it's not just Dominicans. And then aside from that, I mean, look at what's going on in the Middle East right now, and
I
how
think
women
it has
need
everything
you know
to do
what I'm
with
saying? It's because
colonialism and how it happened, where it
it's-
came from.
it's not
That's
just
it.
us.
It's
I
that
think
influence.
for a very long time. Like, we have to acknowledge, no matter what is said in this podcast, like, women forever,
Yeah, that's why I'm like, we're not
forever
reinventing
of
the wheel.
history
This has
have
been a thing
told
where
to like
yeah,
hold you guys up here and do what it is that you guys
doesn't
say.
matter where
and
you're
just
from,
cater
what
to
you
you.
remember
That's
the whole
most
I think-
caveman story.
I think in actual
Beat her over
actions,
the
but I
head
don't
with a
think so
rock and
emotionally.
carry the fist.
I don't think it
I
was.
think emotionally we weren't allowed to have emotions.
That was more expected for you guys to have emotions than us.
It's even like when they say
No,
women
not
don't
a-
fart.
not a
Like
say.
that's
We're
normal,
allowed to
and
be
they even want us to
emotional
hold to
and
that
dramatic.
bullshit that we don't fart.
What?
Right, wait,
Yeah,
what?
like,
We
remember
just
that
can't
whole-
help it.
You want to
Like,
fart?
like no, but that's
Let it-
that's
let it
the
loose.
thing where
Let it
they-
loose. Go ahead.
Yeah, 100%.
What
There's
kind
definitely,
of dumbass standard
there's
is
definitely
that?
certain
Nah,
things.
be
that,
real-
like-
I'ma be real with
Or
you.
women don't go
I'm
to the bathroom in public.
I'm holding on to that one. I'm
Or
holding.
women
I'm
don't
holding.
go to the bathroom in public.
Nah,
Like,
there's
I'm
some-
That's what I'm
sorry.
trying
there's
to
certain-
say.
there's certain
but that's
shit-
what
yo,
I'm
don't-
trying to
Oh, we don't
say.
eat on our first date. Like, I'm sorry. What the fuck is happening here?
Right.
Like,
Nah,
what
that's for
standards-
financial reasons. That entree expensive.
I'm crying.
Nah, I'm with you. Some
Yeah, but
some
ours-
traditions I'm holding on to. Yeah, don't fart in front of me and keep your armpit shaved. Like I need that.
The armpit
But
part
that's
I
a
understand,
privilege.
but farting is
But that's
normal.
like
Walk
a-
out the house. Now walk out the house.
Really?
sorry.
Don't eat no dairy. That's me. That's just me. That's my
but no,
standard.
yeah,
Walk out the house.
You're not
Walk out the
sorry.
house is wild.
Farting has
bro.
nothing to do with dairy. Farting has everything to do with the gas that has to come out.
No,
period.
no, I understand.
Yeah,
no,
but some
no,
people are
I
just,
understand
you know, we're
the
not really
mechanics of
supposed to
farting.
drink.
I get it. I
But
fart.
also, if it smells bad, it's also you know what you're eating.
Yo, I
Dairy.
just don't want to hear it. I want to smell it. Just make it
So
go
do
away.
you hold your farts in?
Nah, I pay for shit.
That,
Head of household.
That has nothing to
Head of
do with it
household
either.
farts.
That's crazy.
That has nothing to do with it. I'm a fart because that's part of my body. The fuck?
So you guys feel like there's an agenda against masculinity right now?
1,000%.
Okay, and what is it? I'm gonna say this again. I'm really big on the one mic thing. I'm really big on just like listening. So I know like these debates can get heated. Let's just try to listen and then speak out. Just in general. I know this could get
Did anybody
heated.
say anything else?
Nah, but we was about to. I saw like 3 people try to talk.
I was
This is a
wait-
heated question. I get
No,
it.
I was waiting for you to finish.
But I was gonna ask, like, what exactly do you feel like is being attacked, or like, what's the agenda? My question, really. Go ahead. Have
Go ahead,
fun.
one mic. Go ahead.
It's for you guys.
Go ahead, bro.
She just scolded us. So it's like,
As a whole, just masculine men. You know, I think
So, what's your definition of a masculine man? Like, what
Her-
is it
her
that
man.
what?
yeah, like men that have standards. You know, I feel like at the end of the day, it's being pushed for like guys to just accept anything. You know, like for men to be more on the feminine side, for women to now take that dominant role. I think men structurally or in society have been more masculine, have been more dominant in a sense. And dominant doesn't mean that you guys are like lacking. I feel like the word, you know, dominant or being submissive tends to have like a negative connotation to it. And I don't think that's the case. You know, I think there's certain roles that each of us play, you know, to help society move forward. So I'm thinking that from my personal opinion, I think that the attack is that it's pushing for women to now take that masculine role and for men to now, you know, become what women once were. I guess that's from my understanding. You know, that's what I would say.
I can have a point to your point, right? I get it. I believe in duality, right? So I believe that there is a feminine to your male and that there's a male to my feminine.
Yeah.
What I think is being pushed on us is to pick this one and go with it all the
Right.
way. Like there is a balance, almost like a battery. It needs a going and a coming. It's a
Conductor?
Conductor. Thank you.
Mhm.
And the divide is almost like intentional, where it's like, well, if you're a female and you feel like your male placements are stronger, then maybe you should be more empowered and maybe
right.
boom this. And if you're a male and your placements are a little bit more feminine, then go
that
here.
direction.
But it's
Right.
like we're not really teaching people like there's a balance to everyone. There's a left and a right. There's an up and a down. So kind of like, what if you just accept that this is who you are as a person instead of feeling like I'm masculine, I'm feminine, and it's like, are we not seeing the on purpose divide? But that's the way that I see it. That's why like social media does not affect me as it would have years ago. I've made a conscious effort to like kind of like wake up.
Because you saw where it was going.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I also believe that was meant to happen, right? It happened during 2019 when I was like, this is weird. What is happening? Right? And I went like the rabbit hole of learning what intentionally is being done to us.
Right.
That's why all of my opinions are completely outside of social media. But I see her point, I see his point, and I see yours. That's why I'm like, the way I want my man for me is the way I want it.
Which is right.
But the way everybody else is doing it and seeing it, maybe that's just the way that it's supposed to be because they also have to wake up.
All right, so to answer...
So same question for you,
So,
yeah.
so the question is,
What
do
is
I feel like
the
there's an agenda? So I think it's an interesting question because we live in two worlds now, right? There's the real world, right? And
Absolutely.
then there's the internet world, right?
I'm happy I
And as much as people try to downplay like the social media life, right? Like it does have an impact on
Absolutely.
everybody, right? Like
course.
so what you watch, because a lot of people are like spending at least an hour or two on social media a day, right? And you're just absorbing that, right? And you're not, because you just do it so unconsciously that you don't think it's having an effect on you, right? So I think when he, like, to add on to your point, right? When he said there's an attack on masculinity, is like, it doesn't seem like there's an attack on masculinity in real life, because women are not going up to men and saying like, yo, stop being a man.
Boom.
Like that's not happening, right? But you on social media, right, which is a big part of like, you know, like you got the metaverse coming out. Like pretty soon we're all gonna be on, like, it's gonna be like the fucking Matrix out here. You're gonna have a plug in the back of your head and you're
but
just
not
gonna,
all of us.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying.
so what a lot of people on social media are seeing is like, all right, you have like there's a bunch of influencers, right? There's, you know, crazy feminists, you know, influencers, they're crazy manliness
Right.
influencers, right? But for whatever reason, they're deplatforming all these male influencers that are very pro-man, right? So it makes you question, like, yo, why is it that a woman, you know, promoting these feminine qualities to women and telling them like, go do this is how you handle yourself, that's okay, right? But as soon as a man does it, right, it's an issue. Like they're getting deplatformed, they're getting banned, canceled. So when you start seeing that, it's like, it makes you question, like, yo, what's the issue, right?
Where's the
Like they're
benefit?
both, because I think these influencers are good for women. I think they're trying to tell women like, yo, this is how you should handle yourself as a woman. You shouldn't depend on a man, all that stuff, right? That's good. I think women need that as
Right.
well. And I think men need that as well. It's like, yo,
Absolutely.
as a man, this is how you should behave. You should be fit. You should be strong. You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't just handle your like manly
Just
duties.
grow, right.
Exactly, right? But for whatever reason, right? Just on social media, not in real life,
Right.
right? This is being viewed as a bad thing.
Right.
So like then it's like, yo, what is the agenda of social media, right?
Who is it
It's like
benefiting?
why are they only canceling men for saying the same thing?
Yeah.
But these female influencers are getting promoted,
Right.
they're getting cheered on.
So, sorry. I think that, I think one, we need to acknowledge that social media is like brand fucking you to the world. Like
Yes.
to humanity. It's
True.
so, it's still a baby. Like we're still learning.
We're figuring it out. We're
figuring it out,
Yeah.
right?
But a lot of people get their everyday lives.
No, I know, but we're the guinea
around
pigs,
that.
is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. We're the guinea pigs of that. We're really
And it-
like we're the first, and we're the older generation. We don't
Right.
even know
And
how it's affecting.
just
like,
to add on
you
before
know
you
what
go
I'm
into
saying?
it, right? So one of the main issues, I think, I'm in my 30s. You feel me? So I know who I am as a person, right, and as a man. So when I see stuff on social media, even though like it does have a bias, right? The influence isn't as strong as me because I've kind of settled into who I was as a person before I logged on, before I made an account, right? So
You had a life before social media. That's the
Right.
thing.
True.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Right.
say. Like,
Yeah.
you were
but
able
but
to
here's
identify
but here's
that.
the issue, right? I have kids, right, who eventually they're growing with social media, right? So social media was born before them. I was born before social media.
That's what I'm
That's a big
saying.
difference, right? So when my kids go onto social media, right, and they're only seeing certain topics that are being promoted and certain topics that are being demoted, right? They're gonna register that, right? It's like, yo, dad, like how come every time there's a guy talking about pro male stuff, like he gets the platform, right? He might not say it to me, right? But I'm saying, but dad, but how come anytime I see a woman or a feminist talking about pro women stuff, like it's viewed as a good thing?
Mhm.
So he's gonna register that eventually, right? And be like, oh, like so the more masculine I become, the worse it's gonna be for me out in the world, right?
Mhm.
And that's my fear with the agenda.
But I feel like, can I answer that? I feel like if your kid were to ever come up to you with those questions, you already have them on the right track. That means that it's very little that they're going to continue to see that it's like, Dad, why this? Right? And
But
I feel
you're-
like you have the autonomy to be like, because son, this is.
But
what
we're
it
talking
is.
about an ideal world, right? No,
No,
no.
you
What
can
I'm
still do that.
no, what
You
I'm
can do
saying
that.
is right,
You
yo,
can
how
still
many
do that.
how many kids aren't gonna talk to their parents? How many
Yeah,
kids are
yeah,
just gonna
yeah.
eat that?
But
no,
you got your kids. You know what
I
I'm
know,
saying?
I
You
know,
have
I
every
know, I
authority
know,
to
I
do
know,
He's
it.
I know,
concerned
I
for
know,
the
I know
bigger-
my
No,
kids,
I
right? But
understand that.
there's
Yeah.
a bunch of kids, right, that are gonna see the same thing, right? And not every parent is like every parent, right?
But
Yeah.
you got to start with you. That's it.
No,
Unfortunately, that's all you could do. You
I
know what I'm saying?
I
That's the-
understand that,
yeah,
right? But there's still like a group of kids out there,
Yeah.
and the kids are our future, right?
Yeah,
So
right,
Yeah.
even
right.
though I have to look beyond my kids, right? I have to worry about
Of
like other
course.
kids,
But
like
you know what
my nephews,
Yeah.
my
Just
nieces.
spread
You know what I'm
that.
saying, but
Continue to spread
like,
that
yo,
and it'll
but
catch on. Trust me.
easier said than done. What
No,
I'm saying
it
is like
is.
they're
I
gonna
get what you're saying.
okay.
No, I get what
this
you're
is
saying.
this
It
would
is
be
easier
my
said than
take
done,
on
but
that,
yes.
and this is where I was going. I don't necessarily agree with this. I just think again, this is like new to us. Like we're still figuring it out. We're the guinea pigs, and I think what social media is trying to do, just because this is what I studied in college, and I'm not saying I agree with it, but I think what the controllers of social media are trying to do is push away what historically like controlled the world. So like for example, when black people say we're pro-black, it's accepted because historically like they didn't have a platform.
But it's not
Versus
accepted.
no, it is. Like it's more accepted than when white people are like, you know what I'm saying? Like Trump getting banned. You get what I'm saying? But why? Because it was like you're being against like a culture that, you know what I'm saying? It's that. And I think what social media battles with is that the same thing does go for men versus women. Historically, women have been the minority that are not allowed, and men are allowed to bombard. And I'm not saying that I agree with it, but I think that's what it's the same logic of like women should be allowed to pro women because
No,
historically they haven't.
100%.
No, I get what you're saying. No,
Yeah,
and I don't want
yeah.
you, but I think that's what it is. I think that they're saying like, okay, if our idea is that we're pro minorities, we have to do it all across. We have to do it racially. We have to do
Yeah.
it with sexuality. That's why if you're in the pride community and you're doing all this pride shit, you're allowed to. Versus if you're against pride, it's not that they're against heterosexuality, but historically they're like, fuck, we gotta like pro minority, so they banned whoever's. You know what I mean? They call it homophobia.
No, true,
You get
but-
what I'm saying?
No, I know, I
Kinda,
get what you're
sorta,
saying, but
I feel like for me personally, like I feel like we're trying to categorize these in two different bottles, and I feel like they're not two separate things. You know, like
I
I
think
feel
they
like
are.
right now, and we live in a world where social media and real life run in synergy. Like they're together.
Oh,
you
that.
know?
I
So,
thought
like,
you meant men and
it's-
women. I'm
No,
like,
no,
I
no,
think
no.
we're two different categories.
No.
Wait a
So
minute.
like they're running synergy, right?
Oh,
so
no,
like
no,
it's
yeah.
almost like as if like because realistically, a lot of these school shootings that happen probably started from a forum. A lot of these kids committing suicides is because they're not getting likes on the
but
social
I'm in
media,
agreement
right?
with you. That's what
So
I mean.
what I'm saying is that I feel like it's okay to it's on outside looking in, because we're rational thinkers. We were born before the age of internet and all of that. So we're looking at these people like, what the fuck is wrong with them, right?
Right.
But for those people, that's their life.
That's
Yeah.
their norm. That's their norm.
Yeah, that's their norm, right? So all I'm saying is that yes, it's okay for us to sit here and say, like, yeah, because on social media is one thing versus social media, but in real life it's something different. But in reality, if, like I said, if somebody sees something on social media, 9 times out of 10, or maybe even less than that, they're applying that to their normal life.
Yeah.
They think that is the norm for them.
I think it's unconscious too.
Which,
It
is,
is,
it's unconsciously.
it's like they're almost saying, you know what? Okay, if this person is getting X, Y, and Z, then I should be able to get X, Y, and Z. If this person is doing X, Y, and Z, then wow, I'm not alone.
No, bro,
I'm
I
feeling
agree
exactly
with you.
what this
Me
person is saying.
personally,
Right.
I think everybody should have a voice. I dead ass. Like, I just do. Like, I personally like to see racists on social media because it teaches me what the fuck is really going on in their head. Like, I'm not against it. I'm so pro everybody
Right.
having a voice
Same.
because I'd rather know my enemy than not. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just who I am. And I would teach, I'm very big, I get what you were saying on kids being the future. I'm an older sister and all my siblings are, babies.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm very big on like what they see. But I just think social media is trying to figure it out. You know what I'm
But I
saying?
think
like they're on
I
But
think
I
the
feel like we're
separation-
trying to give
Let's
social
block
media
the-
too much power, and I think
No, social media has a lot of fucking
yeah,
so
power.
much
but also I
power.
feel like
Social media is the
I think
power.
it controls us.
But
at this point.
the only reason why I say that is because
They're
I
they're
grew up
listening
with,
right now.
I grew up with
Yeah,
a
oh,
very
yeah.
strong, you're not doing this mother,
Right.
right? And I feel like as it's almost like they want you to feel like you have no power in what the new generation of kids see. I have a lot of my friends who their kids are like, they're supposed to be in the 7th grade, they're already on the 5th grade, on their way to the 7th grade, and it's like, how are you doing this nowadays? Because I know what's happening, and I don't want my kids to repeat the same mistakes. You have a lot of power, not just as a parent, but like as a community person. To her point earlier, she was like, how is that your whole family is advocates? My sisters work with children with developmental needs, and they're educational advocates.
Right.
I'm strong as shit on reading, right, and educating yourself, so you do have a lot of that power. My social media, and I guess it's because I was on it before, I can get off.
Right.
But I get it to your point. It's almost like the kids that are going in it now, it's either they could be attached to it, or they could have a parent who's coming to like, aware of something little by little, and they do the conscious effort to be like, Coco Melon, is that something my kids need at the age of 1? No. Do they need at the age of 2? Maybe not either. Because of the sensory, the colors, the things that's not teaching them, right?
But here's where
it's like they want to take the power away from us when we have more power than all of that.
Absolutely.
I don't think we do.
I think
Just to touch on your before you get into it,
yeah.
is right. If you're with your kid all day, it's very easy to control what's going on, right?
But
they're gonna come to an age, right, where they're gonna go to school for about 8 hours a day, right, with kids that are not being taught the same thing your kids are doing, right?
Absolutely.
So it's you could pretty much not give your kid social media or a phone until they're like fucking 16, right? At this point, right? But they're gonna go into high school, middle school, right? All these schools. My son comes
But it
home
still
now
starts
saying
at
shit.
home.
What I'm telling you is, it's stronger than that, right? Your
Absolutely.
home values could be one thing, right? And your kid could be the perfect kid in front of you. But trust me when I tell you, when they go
They
to
turn up when they're not
you
there.
have to trust your kid, because my mom always told me this one thing.
But
Sorry to cut
you gotta
off.
trust all the kids. If all these kids are not in the same fucking like wave, it's gonna be hard for your kid. Do you understand? Like,
I
do you
agree
understand?
with
Do
you.
you
I
understand?
understand
Do you
what you're
understand peer
saying.
pressure, right?
Absolutely.
Right. And how often have you given out through peer pressure throughout your life? Multiple times.
All the time.
Exactly.
But I also have my values of what my mom, and I was saying it earlier.
But I don't think you're.
wasn't beat,
I
and
get what
think
he's saying,
what I'm
though,
saying,
and-
I know, but what I'm saying now is that my mom trusted me enough to know that if I told you, I don't want to see you in the streets and nobody coming to tell me. I always had that shit in the back of my mind, like,
But
I'm
I
gonna go
think
ahead and I'm gonna smoke.
But that's.
But
I
I'm
think
not gonna
that's
do it.
you.
but
I
that's-
think
was
you
a
could have
balance.
2 kids raised in the same
I'm not even
household
talking
with
about
the
my
same
kids.
parents.
Yeah.
No, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
You can have 5 kids raised in the same household with the same rules, with the same parents.
Same environment, same everything.
Different income.
Completely.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because
Yo,
once
every
they go
kid
to
gets a
school,
different.
once they
Every
step
kid gets a different
outside,
parent. Every
of
kid gets a different
course,
parent,
yeah.
right?
And like you could tell me no, and then
Yeah.
you could tell my brother no, and you could tell my sister no.
Right.
But once we get out in school, I could be like, no, my mom said no. But my sister
Right.
could be like,
I ain't
my
doing
mom
that.
said
Not
no,
even-
but what's up? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like, you
My
really
middle
never
sister's
know.
3 of
Like,
us,
I want to
yeah.
learn.
Yo,
I want to, some kids are more curious than
Yeah.
others.
And then also
that's
friend
normal
groups are
and shit,
different in
too.
school.
Of
You know, friend groups
course.
aren't the same in school.
That's
so-
normal.
course.
Right.
Yo, and the trends at that age is different, right? Like,
Right.
yo, whatever you grew up with, your little brother's not gonna grow up, right? Yo, my thing is like, I think what you're hyper focusing on is like your own standards of your family, right? Which is fine. I think we all got that, right? But you're undermining the influence of the
Of the outside
world's
world.
pressure that when they go out there, right? Some of the things that you're gonna teach your kids, this gonna stick. I don't
Yeah,
doubt that, right?
absolutely.
But they're gonna evolve into different people, right? And the issue is like, if they run into enough people, right, that are on the opposite end of what you're preaching to them, right, they're gonna either fold into whatever they're doing, whatever the world's doing. They might go halfway, and if they don't, they just might be an outcast. Nobody wants to be an outcast, right? So what I'm saying is, if we don't like get almost not everybody, but a good majority of the population on like the same page, it doesn't matter what you're teaching your kids, because when they go out there, influence is very strong. And
I
I
get
feel
what
like
you're saying.
I think it's easy to say, like, you know what, like, I'm the one. I'll never give in to peer
get what you're
pressure.
saying, but
My
I
kid's never
disagree.
gonna get
I
to peer
totally
pressure.
have a question.
I disagree.
About
I
that.
disagree that I'm hyper focusing on it, because you're hyper focusing on the influence of social media, and I'm like, I didn't grow up like that.
But you're
Right.
talking about just
And I
yes.
know, but
That's
I'm saying, like, I can see the both of our arguments, and I'm like, I think you still have the power as a parent, more than what you.
Do you have
think, and
kids?
I think that's it. No, but
Okay.
I'm the oldest of three, and I grew up in what you see.
Okay.
Right? And I had a parent who was dedicated to that. It didn't matter where I grew up, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't social media, but it was in the streets of New York. And she still did the best she could, and my sisters and I, we're not saints. We weren't saints, but everybody's on the path now because we always had that to look back into. I feel like you have to do that with your kids, whether they stick
think your
with it or
family
not,
didn't
just do
have a
that part and let
rebel.
them choose.
So how many hours would you say a kid spends in school?
I know I spent like about, what was it, from 7 in
8
the
hours.
morning
8
to
hours. 8
about
hours.
the time
8
3
hours.
o'clock, 4
8
o'clock,
hours.
right?
Right.
So 8 hour shift.
And the more
8 hour
you
shift.
weekend in
6
school, you
p.m.
will stay a little
Yeah.
later because you wanted to chill with your friends.
And then what most people spend an 8-hour day starting at like 9 o'clock, right? So then essentially
Sick
the
for me.
kid isn't going to be able to. Most kids' bedtimes is like what 9
Yeah.
o'clock. So that means that the
You're
quality
really
time.
only spending like
quality time, you're
4
only
hours
spending
with
like
your parents a
5
day.
hours.
I know I did. I know
Max.
school was the one that raised me.
Maybe I was different. 'Cause
Max.
maybe I'm a special case because I'm like, I
Look,
still
but
don't turn out
but
really
that's-
But you're
no,
not
that's
that
what I'm talking-
special, Em. Look, think about
I mean,
it.
I don't want it to be, but
no,
it
no,
seems
no, no,
like it. Like,
no,
shit.
no. I don't think so, bro.
I guess it's because my mom was a strict Dominican
no,
coming up, and she just
and,
didn't have your
and
best
you're
thing.
not looking.
You know?
Em,
She
look
had
at
different standards for us.
it's not
That's
even about.
maybe.
You're thinking about rebelling. Think about like us growing up, where like people like Tokisha are. Like we were just talking about that earlier.
Right.
You're not okay. Like your mom is not okay with Tokisha, but you grew up in a different culture, and you're okay with it. And you're like, Mom, it's okay. Like that culture's okay. Do you get what I'm saying?
Because
that's
I'm seeing
different
my
from your
culture
mom.
now. Yeah,
But do you get what I'm saying? Where did you get that? You didn't get that at home because your mom is against it.
yeah.
So where did you pick that up?
It just consciously, I just
At
evolved.
school,
Yeah.
around
But you
other
see how it
people in
got
your culture,
but you
but
see how
that's
it got
what we're
watered down
saying.
to you, right?
What do you mean?
Like
Your mom wouldn't be cool with what she's saying, right?
What is Tokisha?
Nah, she
Yeah,
would've.
so-
the artist.
No, all right, but all right.
But we were talking about it earlier, how she's like not cool with like the way that
Yeah,
she
she doesn't like
expresses
her
herself.
lyrics, and I'm like,
Okay,
well,
so
mommy, that's not for you to
so
listen
at
to.
home
Yeah,
you were
but
But I'm
taught
saying,
that
but-
those
but-
lyrics weren't okay. So where did you come up with the idea that it is okay? Outside of home.
outside influence.
Yeah,
Outside
Yeah.
influence.
Right,
That's
but yo,
what
but-
we're saying.
So it got watered down to you, right? Now it's gonna come a time when you have kids, right? And they're gonna listen to certain shit. We're like, yo, what the fuck is that? Like,
Yeah,
I'm not okay
yeah.
with that. But they're gonna, it's just the thing is like it just keeps like getting lighter and lighter,
Yeah.
right? To the point where like, yo, we're so far off the spectrum. Where like by the end of it, like, yo, like I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
And this is
And
why
that's like I just and when we say the
Yeah.
agenda issue, just to tie it back in, right?
Yeah.
We just need some type of like stoppage or buffer where it's like, okay, I understand, like, yo, we
Fully.
everyone, every race, every sexuality, right? They need their freedom, and I get that, right? But as those like races and sexuality, like, they move up and they get their rights and they get their influence and all that stuff, right? We just don't need anything else to be depressed in the same time, and
That's what I had the
that's what we're
question
feeling
about.
like is happening with men, right?
Absolutely.
As
Yeah.
like feminine, I guess, alpha women are getting moved up.
So-
It's like feeling like men are just on social media, right?
It's not even a feeling. Honestly,
No,
it's
but,
a reality.
but
I mean,
that
yeah,
was
I mean,
my
there's
que-
actual
but
facts
That
here.
was my that was my original question,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Because not to like, okay, so I was reading this book called The Four Agreements. You guys know it?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so his logic is that we come into an agreement, right? We both agree that this is a bottle, a
Right.
glass bottle. So that's what it is.
It's reality. Right.
It becomes a reality,
Reality,
only because
right.
we both called it
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? If we both called this plastic,
It would be plastic.
that's the new reality,
Right.
correct?
Yeah.
So I think I understand where you're coming from, but I kind of don't think that what you're saying is like worldwide. Because I think as an American culture, we're such a
I'm speaking on
fucking-
America. I'm speaking on
Yeah,
America.
that's what
I'm speaking on
I'm trying
America. I'm
to say.
speaking on
That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm speaking on America.
Because I think, like I was saying earlier, like in my country, they don't have this. They actually think we're fucking crazy. Like,
No,
literally,
like
they
in
think
Brazil.
Americans are fucking crazy. The men
Yeah.
are like all over. The women are all over the place. Like, bitch, sit the
Because
fuck down and wash some dishes.
you guys have a deep
No,
heritage. You
no,
know, like
I
Wash the
just think,
dishes.
no, but that's still the Dominican fucking push. You know what I'm saying?
right.
No
But I think
dishwasher?
that's their agreement. That's our thing. That's what I think is our cultural agreement.
Why
Versus
do you
in
think
the-
that is?
Because we haven't progressed from that agreement. That's still our agreement.
Do you think
No,
the
I-
women
I
are
mean, but
happy?
What?
Do you think the women are happy with these agreements over there?
No.
But that's what I think.
I'm not.
No.
That's a general question. So you think no?
I don't. I wouldn't
we
say
didn't
that.
vote
But I
for
say
that,
if
I
we
don't
both agreed that this
This
is
is what it is. Then
this
that
is what it
becomes
is, then that's what
that's
it is.
Yeah.
right?
If none of us, you know what I'm saying?
No, if you don't know any better, you don't do it. I get that, right? But what I'm asking is like, because this is kind of like a different topic, right? Now I'm gonna kind of get into actual like cultural happiness, right?
Mhm.
It feels like people in America are generally not happy, right? You hear about depression, anxiety, like
And I think it's
constantly,
because
right?
there's so many different
no, so right.
like.
But yo-
Too many different fucking opinions
Yeah.
But yo-
from different cultures. Like
Yeah.
how many cultures do we have right here? How many different upbringings do we have right here? Versus if we were all from the same household, there wouldn't be any fucking
No,
debate.
nobody will have
Because
No,
we would
I-
all be raised the
true.
same way. I think that's why America's so fucking
No, but
fucked.
what I'm
It's too
asking is
mixed.
right. So
It's a
as
melting pot.
It is. It's a melting pot. So there's too many
And
different
it just keeps
opinions.
bubbling.
yo, but yo,
Go ahead, I'm
as
sorry.
as progressive as America is, right? Because this is probably one of the most progressive countries in the world, right? And everyone's kind of got a voice here. You could be whatever religious one. You could fuck whoever you want, sniff whatever you want, right? But it's no. What I'm saying is right for a country where you literally have the most freedom compared to any place on earth, right? Why are people so depressed? Why is anxiety such a thing, right? Compared to like the countries that we're from, which is not as open to a lot of things, right? Like you guys are from DR, right? So that's what I'm
So
asking
my
you.
mom- this is
Are
what
the
my mom
are the
says,
women
and I
in
think I
DR
agree.
happier than you think the women are here?
I wouldn't say either or, but I think my mom's logic to this kind of makes sense, which is what I was saying earlier. We're the guinea pigs. Like they're
just watching.
happy because that's their world. They don't give a fuck. We're the first. We have so much anxiety and so much depression because we're the first people ever to have so many opinions thrown in our face. People in other countries don't have that. They have like one opinion, one way, one whatever. It's affecting us mentally, and we have the most mental health issues, all of that.
Yeah.
Because we're the first people. We don't have books to study on all these fucking different cultures being thrown at you.
Right.
There's no. We're the ones writing
they
those books.
are.
We're the studies, but we're the studies is what I'm saying. That doesn't exist yet.
Yo, like in
Prior
30
to what
years,
this
they're gonna
is-
look at us like, yo, like
be like,
how did
"Holy
that shit work
But
out?
that's what I'm saying because
They were the
prior
pioneers.
you got to think about it. My mom is 51.
Yeah.
Girl,
She's
did
born
you
in
just throw
19
your mom bitch out there?
That bitch look amazing. Get the fuck out of
She
here.
does.
Yeah, get the,
Yo,
she good to go.
prim on her
You
mom.
gotta-
She
you
ain't
gotta-
never
you
did
gotta-
that.
But here's what I'm saying, right? My mom is 51, born 1971.
Yeah.
She was born right after even interracial marriage was allowed.
Yeah.
So before my mom, or even when my mom was born, you were either black, white, Middle Eastern, Asian. There was no mix. There was
Right.
no at home. My mom is black. My mom is white. So I'm allowed to do this, but I'm also allowed to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're literally the study of that. Like,
You know what that sounds
You
like?
know
to
what
me?
I'm saying?
You know what that sounds like to me?
What?
The reason why we're depressed.
It's
There's
'cause
no
we're
fucking
mixing.
structure. There's no
There
structure
is
here.
There is.
none. No,
We want
that's what it
We
is.
want everybody to be everything, right?
Right.
And going back to your original question, right?
Mhm.
I feel like the issue is that the reason why I feel like there's an attack on masculinity is because we want everything to be equal. You know, it's not. Men, do I think everybody should have equal opportunity? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Do I think everyone should have equal pay? Absolutely.
For the job
But
that
are
they're
men
doing,
and women
yes.
equal? Absolutely not.
No.
We all hold different roles in society. And you take that however you want to, right? I think
Physically, emotionally, just
we all
totally
hold
different.
we all hold different roles. But my
They don't
point
wanna
is,
hear
is that there's an
No,
attack,
No, I
and
don't
the
think
reason
it's
why
not that they would want to hear that, but it does go back to the cultural thing, like you're
Right.
saying. Like,
No, I'm saying
Like,
I don't.
if
I
you're-
don't think they want to hear.
They don't
no,
want-
that last part where you said like, are men and women equal? Absolutely not. They don't want to hear that.
They
They're
don't
not
wanna hear
accepting that.
If
Because
I
this-
tell you
here's-
to lift
But
something,
we're not
I'm
that
not gonna
deep.
be able
But
to
like-
lift it, but you are.
We're not the
That's
same.
fucking
You can
common
see us and
sense,
see
bro.
that
But
we're
like-
not the
You know
same,
what I'm
but like, how much more
You
deeper do
can
we need to go?
come through a fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just things that we're not.
Right, we're not
fucking
equal in
debate.
doing,
Yeah, we're
right.
not.
Right, that's
And
what I'm
here's the issue, you know. I feel like the problem is that we want everything to be equal. You said that it's, you know, they're pushing to have homosexuality deemed more okay. You're pushing for
female.
females to be, I guess, you know,
More
on equal
empowered.
plane, more empowered.
But look at
what
what
we're
you
seeing
said
on the
earlier.
but what we're seeing on the opposite side, right, is not only do they want empowerment, they also want control. You can't say, somebody could come in here, right, and say, yo, you're an ugly ass black guy,
Mhm.
right, and it'd be like, all right, But I just say you're an
You're
ugly
handsome to
ass
me.
F word, like FAGGOT,
You're
right?
right.
That is taken
Okay,
completely.
I was like, wait, what?
You have to put it together.
That is
I
taken
haven't heard that word.
completely out of context.
Y'all back like I haven't heard that word in forever.
No, I'm just saying,
What
like
they
you
use
know,
in Connecticut.
I'm just saying, like you could say a derogatory,
I get what you're
derogatory
saying.
term
No, I
towards
get what you're
homosexuality. Look at what just happened to Kanye. Kanye said if Kanye had
Can
said
we
the
talk
same
about
thing.
Kanye? How do y'all?
Hold on.
Go ahead, finish your thought. I'm gonna ask the question
If Kanye
next.
had said the same thing about white people, would there have been an uproar? Nah.
No,
If Kanye had said the same thing about Spanish people, would there have been an uproar? Probably
probably.
not.
Probably out here.
But because
Probably out here.
but because
Yeezys would be burned in the middle of
Not
the
even.
Dyckman.
Nah, I
What?
promise
Nah,
you
I
not
don't
even.
know.
Nah,
Y'all
not
not
even.
paying
We
that
fuck
much
with
in burden.
Yeezys.
Shits.
No.
And we fuck with them. I don't
nah,
know
but
why.
because he
I saw it for some $60 on the way here.
Mood,
crazy.
They were fake.
nah, but because he talked about a group that is minority, that's where the attack comes
But
in.
that's
So
what I'm
let's just
saying.
say
It's
The
because
the Jays.
Yeah.
let's just
He's
say
a-
let's just say on the
he's
flip
Jewish.
side, right? Let's just say on the flip side. What is America's most, I guess, alpha person or most
a heterosexual white man.
a heterosexual white male, right?
Yeah.
Is America's most, I guess, leader dominant person in America?
Correct.
Who could combat against them? Black people combat against them, and nobody bats a
Everybody
word,
does.
right? Nobody bats a word.
Mhm.
A gay guy could combat against them, and nobody says a word,
Mhm.
right? A woman could say something about them, and nobody says a word. But the moment he says something about black people, now we got a problem.
Yeah.
The moment he says something about gay people, now there's a problem. And the moment he says something about women, now there's a problem. And here's where the attacking comes in because it's not a fight for equality. It's almost a fight for superiority.
Yeah.
Like, you
Another
know,
form of it.
equality is I could talk shit about you could talk shit about me, and we go our separate ways because
But that's
nobody
why
has a
people
problem.
are saying that we're like a sensitive generation.
Yeah.
But that also goes back to the fact we're the first people that there's the one thing about social media that we underestimate, right? Before social media, my world was uptown.
Yeah, this is it.
This is all I
Everything
knew.
stayed, everything stayed.
But this is all
This
I
was it.
knew. I only knew Hispanics. I knew black people because of Harlem, because I chilled there. I took music there. I took dance there.
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything past that. I started to know white people when I went to high school because it was in the Upper East Side. But that was my world. And had I not known social media, I probably wouldn't know shit outside of that culture. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this would be our worldview and we would know nothing about it. But now with social media, we fucking know everything now. Like,
Yeah.
we're getting to know everything. So it becomes more of like,
That world that you just talked about
Mhm.
becomes a little bit wider because of
hell
social
yeah.
media, right?
Because in reality, right? When we were growing up, because it's in the hood, because we're all minorities, because our jokes was like, we were allowed to make gay jokes. We were allowed to make jokes about like
Black people, white people, no matter what.
anything or whatever. And it was valid because it was kind of like,
We all in the same shit together.
yeah, like we all in the same shit together, right? But because we've expanded our worldview and now we know how these things have affected other
Yeah.
people, have whatever,
We're more
like we
conscious
hear more
about it.
stories.
Well, we would
Now
hope
it's
so.
not okay. Now my siblings are like so much smarter than me.
Too
They-
too woke. They're too
Yeah,
woke.
But what makes
so
it what
woke.
makes it not
That's a
okay
beautiful
though?
thing.
Well,
They
here's-
need a nap. That's what
because-
they need.
No,
What do
yeah,
you think
yeah.
makes it not okay?
It's just like it's. I think they're. Again, it's a sensitive culture.
Mhm.
It's like the sensitive. You know what I'm saying?
Poli-
Like,
yo,
when we were-
it's PC culture, politically correct culture.
I
Everything
guess.
has to be
Yes,
politically
that is
right.
what
Yo,
it is. That is
there's
what it
no
is.
there's no jokes. Yo,
There's
jokes
no-
are done. Right?
Look,
Like
we
No,
saw
I
what
think
Will
jokes
Smith
are
did to
still
fucking
there.
what's his name to
Chris
what's his
Rock?
name? Yeah, slap the fuck out of him for a joke. You know, no one can make a joke
Like
these
it's
days.
not
Yo, but that's
okay
like-
anymore.
yeah.
One of my biggest like issues was like you have an issue with like boobs being on the internet.
Wait,
Who said
what?
that?
You
Men
said that.
do that? You
I
do
said
that?
that.
Yes, you said that.
I
You
don't
said
know if
you-
I said that.
No, you did. No, you
Right,
did.
she got the
My
shit
notes
right
are my
now.
notes, my notes.
What I say?
Is that the
It's
highlighted
on
part
there.
that we
I
see?
got a
No,
issue
like-
with boobs being on the internet.
Like titties and nipples being shown on TikTok and they like not being like.
No, I
it's
have an
just, like, a
issue
thing.
with titties and nipples being shown on TikTok, and we can't curse on TikTok.
Oh yeah, no.
That's what
so,
I got a problem with.
our issue with this, so our page. All right, we're getting to that. All right, you want to talk about censorship
Yeah,
real quick?
okay.
All right, so to your start 1, 2, 3. All right, so to your question, right? You were talking about one of our episodes where A1 had brought up the issues of breasts being shown on TikTok, right?
Mhm.
So our issue is in like, yo, we're pro titties,
I'm pro titty.
we're pro
titty
nipple,
guy.
pro areola, come
Because
whatever,
it's
come
normal.
however it's gonna come.
Give
You
me
feel
the
me?
No,
big
the
ass
comment
fucking-
just felt
give me the
like it
big ass
wasn't.
fucking
But yo,
areola,
but
like-
our issue. So
this
our
shit-
issue is actually with censorship, right? And it once again, right, ties into the agenda. Not to beat the dead horse in the.
Right.
That,
Yeah.
there's a ghost in here.
So All right, so we and a lot of male content creators, right, get flagged all
For
the time on
everything.
social media, right? And it's like for saying certain things, right, or just being men at this point, right? And it's just like, so a woman can go up there literally naked, and we've actually seen naked women, right, on TikTok, which hey, we love it,
Yeah.
right? Like
But
we're
they don't get
but it's like
censored.
and it goes to like why is this okay? Because that's a kid's app at the end of the day, right? So my son can see this shit, right? But he can't hear me curse. Like,
Yeah,
so
exactly
what's
my point.
once again, what's really going on? Like, why is everything related
TikTok
to
with
men,
questions.
right? Always an issue, and
Yeah.
like and women can literally be nude, and it's okay.
I think.
Let's
I
not
think,
let's not confuse the viewers out there because I love me a titty.
No. I get it. I think cursing in general is like censored. Like we know that. Like
Right.
they
Yes.
try to do that. And I think that women's body is not being censored because traditionally a man's like I grew up being okay and having to be okay with seeing a man in just boxers because it was okay because I wasn't taught to sexualize that body. So even on Disney Channel, I saw guys without shirts at the beach and I wasn't allowed to sexualize it because it was just a guy's body.
Yes.
But you're
Really?
taught historically to sexualize a woman's body, which is why we have an issue when it's on TV or on social media or whatever. And because going back to we need to stop the minority issue,
Right.
it's like, bro, the issue is not that there's a titty on thing.
Because that's
That
normal.
shouldn't be censored. The issue is that you see a titty and you think it's sexual.
Right. It's just
That's
as normal as
you know what I'm saying?
a-
And
it's
that's
just
not
a
to you
boob.
guys.
No,
but that's what I'm
no,
saying.
no,
I
it
mean,
is
is
to
it-
me.
is
I
Censored.
look
is
at
a titty
titties
not
as a very
sexual?
sexual thing.
I don't think it is.
You don't think a titty's sexual?
Pull a titty out right now.
You
Isn't
know
our
why?
titty?
Pull
I do
pull a
not
titty
know.
out right now.
No, but to me, it's not sexual.
You
No,
know why?
pull it
Because
out.
we have them.
Because
But
no,
when a guy
No, I
comes
get
out
it.
with
I get it,
The
right?
titty's not sexual?
underwear,
Yo, I'll show a titty.
No, but
That's
here's
all. I'll show a titty
but
for a
nobody
titty.
wanna see your titty.
But that's what I'm saying. No, nobody gotta
That's
want to
the
see it.
problem. No one wants to see
No.
your titty.
Nobody
either.
want. That's a fact. I don't deny
Here's
that,
my
right?
issue.
What I'm
Here's
saying
my-
is, right? There's
my
there's
issue-
a reason men walk around, right, with no shirts on, no issues, and there's a reason women don't.
But you know why?
Even women view
I don't hear
themselves.
myself.
I have a feeling
To a certain
that-
sexual
No,
extent.
I don't think
That's
so.
a biological
I think-
reason. Maybe the
no,
boobies send
yeah.
the hormone sickness
I
or something.
personally,
Oh,
no, I
yeah, no,
just
actually, that's a
personally
proven
think
fact.
that we all made an agreement that boobs are sexual, that they're not meant to
Absolutely.
give babies milk,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they're not just to
See,
ignore
yeah,
their
that's kinda
body
weird
part.
to me.
100%.
Do you get what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
all made that agreement historically, so it's become an issue.
What other agreements did we make
Because
that
there is- she had a
vaginas are
problem with
sexual
you.
and that they're not for women to push babies out?
But dicks weren't allowed.
Dicks are sexual.
Yeah, but that's
and they're
what
not
I'm
for
saying.
semen to ejaculate into vagina.
But what I'm saying,
What just happened?
dick
You know what
was
I'm saying?
no,
but
it's a thing.
these
Like,
are all things that we agreed
men-
as a society.
Right.
yeah, but that's an agreement that women feel like it's so stupid because we don't find boobs. Like, okay, here's my thing, right?
Yeah.
If I'm walking around my house, and if you're a man, right?
Yeah.
You have a daughter, you have a mom, you have a sister.
Yeah.
When they're half naked around the house, you're not sexualizing them because they're your family. So
Right.
you're programmed. But then if it's me, you feel like you can sexualize me? No, bitch, I'm not giving you consent to fuck me. I'm just wearing shorts, bitch. I'm just wearing a bra. And
But you're
you know
still
what I'm saying?
covered though.
No, but I'm saying if I'm around my house.
No, I get what
Do
you're
you get what I'm
saying.
saying?
Yeah, I get what
If
you're saying.
I'm
I do
around
get
my
what you're
house,
saying.
around my brothers, or even honestly, bro, like I'm like I said before, I'm always around men because that's like how I grew up.
Mm.
So when my guy friends are around, when they come to my crib, like when I'm not all covered up and shit, but they don't sexualize me because they know mentally to like, oh, that's my
No,
sis.
I
We've known each other
Absolutely,
forever.
100%.
But that's what I'm saying. That's like because you've been taught to. If you see your sister when I'm fucking getting dressed or whatever, my brother's not allowed to sexualize me. That's my sister. Like,
Right.
you got what I'm saying? But that's something that he was taught. He was not taught that if my friend comes over and my friend gets naked, not
That
to
it's okay
sexualize
just
it.
because she's
So
not.
I think what
I
social
get
media
she's
is
No,
trying
I
to-
no, I get what you're saying.
The
But yo,
idea is
but
that you
for
need to
this
stop
for this
sexualizing
for this
titties,
for this
they're not
agreement,
really-
But
right?
there's a reason in society we sexualize certain things. Like certain things are okay
Even from the
versus certain
beginning,
things are
yeah.
not okay. Why is it that men are? Why is it that we have an age of consent? That's something that we decide as a community,
Yeah.
right? So we decide that it's not okay for young boys to sleep with older women, just like how we decided that it's not okay for young women to sleep with older boys.
Mhm.
Is there a definitive line for that? Yes. So there's a definitive line for the same
So
thing as
what
titties
women
as
are-
well. Like
what- okay,
titties and private parts
And
as
what
well.
women are
Private
trying
parts
to,
together.
well,
Yo,
women.
I'm for it, bro. I'm for it. Let's
Free to
let's
fucking
no,
nipple.
yeah, let's
no,
desexualize
here's
the
what
let's
you know, but-
desexualize the nipple.
But here's the issue. No, but
No, we're
it's
talking
not.
about nipples. What are you
Oh,
talking
okay,
about?
but
No.
now
But that's what I'm trying to
Here we
say.
go.
What
Yeah.
women are trying to say is
Okay.
desexualize it. Don't like
I get
it should
it.
not be an issue. My titties being out.
No, yo,
me
I
not
want-
wearing
I
a
guess
bra
the
should
problem
not
is
be
let
a
it not be a
fucking
problem
sexual.
for
But
the people
look,
who have
honestly,
problems.
realistically, and I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. It's fine for you to want that. But that's not what it is.
Okay, bro.
And
but
it will
A-
never be like
but
that.
the A1, this is what the fuck I'm trying to
Right.
tell you. It's not.
I understand what you're
no,
telling
I
me.
know what you're saying, and I get what you're saying, but
Right.
you're saying that because for fucking because of Adam and Eve,
Right.
we've
If you
sexualized
believe
the
in that.
titty.
Not
But no,
always.
but that's
There's
what I'm
African
saying, but that's
cultures
what-
that they're fully naked.
But this is what I'm trying
Right.
to tell you. In our culture, forever,
Yeah.
it's been sexualized.
They do say that's
so
the reason.
yes, it's gonna, bro. Shit does not change over time, but
Right.
women are starting to say
It's
this is a
normal. This
fucking
is part of
nipple,
my
this is part of my
biology.
shit.
You can
Relax.
start to say it.
It's not gonna change now. It's definitely not gonna change in our
Exactly.
lifetime.
You can start to say, but ain't nothing gonna happen.
I think the
I get
consensus
what you're
is
saying.
because it's there
It
to
would
give you
never-
the right
it would
to
never-
push on.
My
A guy
brother,
walk down
shit changes over time.
A guy walk down the street ass naked in front of your daughter. You're gonna be like, all right, that's cool.
No,
Bro, but we're
absolutely
not
not.
talking about ass naked.
Absolutely
We're
not.
talking about there's
things
certain
that are
things-
Baby
sexualized.
steps. Baby
We're talking about
steps.
That's what we're trying to
Okay,
say.
okay, baby steps, right? Baby steps. But these are the things we're not talking. You're trying to make things. Let's
here's the thing.
let's take titties out of the category of being sexualized. It's not okay. Just like how if you were to drive by, you have a young son, and you see titties being plastered on a bus, you're not gonna want to deal with that.
No.
Just like
See, we don't want to deal with that. We are not in agreement with that.
Right.
We've decided that that's not the agreement, right?
Okay.
And fucking religion aside, because
Right.
not everybody is religious, but I know you come from a religious background,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Religiously
Then
speaking,
you really did your research.
yeah, I do. I this is what
Go
I
ahead,
studied
though.
in
Go ahead.
college, so I
I
take
want
it
to know
seriously.
biases. so
But
I
I'm
did not.
saying no. But I'm saying as a religious person,
Yeah.
you would know and understand that we're supposed to walk around naked and not sexualize our body. We are supposed to.
Yeah.
We
We
have
weren't
been
supposed to.
cursed. Yes, we were. We were cursed.
Okay.
Adam
If
and
you
Eve were
believe in that
cursed.
Adam and Eve story.
That's
yeah.
the first fucking chapter.
Okay.
You were cursed, and now women are shamed and started covering themselves.
So
That's
so
what
was
the
that-
Bible
so-
taught you.
the
so the
sin
con-
was
was
a curse
becoming
for
So to
eating the
counter your
apple.
argument, who taught them that it was wrong?
God.
No, but it was okay before, right? They ate the apple, and all of a sudden they think
And
that
God said-
it's not okay.
That
It's-
was their
all of a
shit,
sudden it
apparently.
said, I'm naked.
Yeah, that's what the Bible
That's what
says.
the Bible
says.
And
But
then they
who-
realized
read the
they were
book?
naked.
But you're
That's
saying
what the
you're-
Bible literally
no, but,
says.
but,
I
but
skimmed
without
through it.
without arguing with me, you said
read it for it.
you're literally agreeing with me without
Education.
agreeing with me, right? Initially, you're saying that we as a society agreed that titties are not okay and titties are sexualized, right? It is something for us to be shameful of. Adam and Eve were the first human beings on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
They ate the apple, and all of a sudden, they realized their nakedness. So is that something taught? Or is that just...
No,
It's
the
sexual.
Bible says
It's
once
taught
they
from
ate
Is
the
that book?
apple.
If-
We gotta-
if that's what the book
No, I'm
teaches
sorry.
you.
I'm sorry. The
That's what the
Bible.
book says.
The
I don't
Bible
know, 'cause it
says
wasn't taught
this
to
is
me, but that's what
yeah.
the book says.
Yeah.
I'm not
exactly.
even pro this, but I'm saying what the Bible says is
what the book
because
says.
they ate the apple,
Because
God
they ate-
said
Yeah.
now instead of being free spirits,
Right.
Your sin is
you will now be
nakedness.
you're sinners. So now you're aware
You're
of
That's
your
why I
God.
say you're
nakedness,
born
right.
But
naked.
originally,
That's what they say.
we were supposed to just
the book.
walk spiritually and like not.
Because there was no
It
sin.
didn't
And
matter.
because there was no
Alright.
sex,
So
nothing
that's
was
what I'm saying.
sexualized.
So here's the thing. Now there's sin.
Right.
Now we're sexualized.
Yeah.
Now this, that, and the third.
Right.
And for thousands of years, women specifically are even more sexualized, right? Because that's even in the Bible. That's where it started. It started with Eve being like ashamed of her
Yeah.
body, right?
Yeah.
So what women are saying is, can we take a little bit of that power back and just free our nipple? Because
No.
to us, it's not sexual.
No.
See, that's what
It
I'm
won't
saying.
be.
That's you.
It
Okay,
won't
but
be.
I
here's what
understand
I'm
his
saying.
point. It's just staying.
I completely
Right.
agree. I
What
agree
what
with
is
you.
so what
Go ahead.
is sexual? What is a if the titty's not a sexual thing, right? What is an actual sexual thing to you?
Actual sex? Or
No,
is
no,
it
no,
like-
no, no. Like, what do you consider like? So to you, the titty's not a sexual.
To me, the body,
Body
is
part,
not
right?
sexual.
So the body's not. So
No.
everything's a
To
free go.
me,
Okay.
you
But we just talked about a guy
sexualizing
walking
to-
on the street ass naked in front of your son.
It's
It's not
gonna be
okay.
sexual to me. No, it's not. I didn't say that.
Somebody
I said
that.
if you you just said that. You literally
Wait,
just
what?
you can run the tape. It was you.
No, I'm saying somebody
but
said
I'm
it
saying
wasn't.
I'm
Okay.
saying here's the thing. I'm saying you can get naked in front of me, and I'm me personally, or in general, and honestly, most women we speak about this a lot when we're alone. We're not aroused.
Hmm.
We're aroused once you start touching.
Yeah,
us,
those-
once you
that's-
start
that's
using the
different,
body.
though.
for
Touch
us.
it, but touching
Yeah,
what?
once
And
it-
any?
once it's for
Is
us,
there anything
we
specific?
start-
Is there anything specific on your body that I could touch that's gonna make you put in a
No,
sexual
not
mood?
about us. No,
Problem.
No, no,
No,
I'm asking you, right?
Yeah.
Just you specifically,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What
Oh no,
about
for me it's anything. For
But
me
it's
it's
more
no,
So if
for
I-
me it's
if-
touching my
if
hair.
I-
if
But
I
that's
if
not what
I
I'm
touch
talking
it if I
about.
touch your elbow, right? That's gonna turn you on sexually.
give you the
If
same
a,
thing.
not me
If
specifically,
I'm
but
like-
if
no,
a guy
yes,
if a guy
yes.
you're into, right?
Yes.
So anything could be
A
sexual.
guy that
So if
you're
a guy
into, you
walks up
said
to you,
it.
I'm not even
There's
walks
an
up to you.
exchange of energy there. It has to be somebody that you're into. It can't be like
That's what I'm trying to say. For example,
I'm just
for
touching
me
his elbow and it's like,
specifically,
what that mean?
me as Scarlett every man that has ever had sex with me can have one thing in common. They definitely gave me a massage before we had sex. Because that's what arouses me. You have to like cater to my body slowly before
But that's a
I let you
sensual
in.
thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
excuse me. Hold
Yeah.
on. I also get massages every single week
Right.
by the chinos. Every single week because I'm an athletic person. I don't get aroused when they do it.
Okay.
And most of the time they do end up giving me the guys because that's just how they like whatever. I don't get aroused. But when it's a man that I'm like,
Because it's not
Into?
supposed
You get
to.
what
like,
I'm
there's an
saying?
energy
No,
so
exchange.
if I'm showing you
I
my
do get-
nipple, there's no reason for you to fucking get aroused unless I'm telling you, baby, look at it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's
No,
a different
so
intention.
I get your
The
point,
thing
right?
is
So
that men are not taught that. They're not taught to create that boundary.
I don't think
They're
we're.
not taught to
That
like. Do
mental
you get what I'm saying? And
boundary?
I don't blame. I'm
No,
not saying that I
no,
blame
no,
you.
so-
This is just history.
I do get what you're saying, right? But I think the issue is, right? So I do understand what you're saying. All right, if I get my chest out, right, you don't consider it a sexual thing because, like, yo, you've been conditioned to think, like, yo, a man's chest is not a sexual thing, right? And we've been conditioned to think that a woman's chest is a sexual thing.
But when it's my man and he's in bed and
Right,
he's taking
that's
off
what I'm
his
like,
shirt,
if
I'm
you
like,
take off your shirt, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
there's a
baby.
guy that's
You know what I'm
fine.
saying? It's
All right,
different.
no,
It's
no,
just like,
I get that, right? But I think the problem with like the issue moving forward is right that if women are still kind of covering themselves because they is like I do understand that men do consider titties a sexual thing, right? And I'm not denying that. But I'm thinking an equal amount of women still consider their breasts a sexual thing, right? So when you go out and you cover yourself like it is a sexual thing, right? So we're gonna perceive you like, all right, you're resonating that it is a sexual thing for you, not you specifically, but most women,
No,
right?
yeah.
So they're like, yo, if you think it's a sexual, right? It's almost a reward, right? It's like,
Okay,
like
yeah, but now
but-
you're going into American culture because in the Middle East they cover their hair. 'Cause
No,
hair
no,
is
but no,
sexual.
yeah.
And we don't believe that. We're like, bitch,
Exactly.
You can see my
No,
hair without
that
getting your
but
dick hard.
that's
So I'm like, this
But
is
then you're going
conditioning.
into-
That's conditioning.
conditioning.
What I'm saying is, right? So for us to really move forward in a direction where
It
like
would
breasts
have
are
to be
not
in unison,
yeah,
but that's
it's
not.
not. But it's not really unison. It's more on women, right? If we see enough
It's
titties,
not gonna.
No, let me
I
finish,
get what
let
you're
me
saying.
fin-
Go
let me
ahead.
finish.
I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, if men see enough breasts out every day, right? We're gonna get desensitized. Like, what's the word?
Yeah.
Desensitized, right?
Yeah.
And that's really the key to desexualize breasts, right? Which is, I guess, ultimately what you guys want.
I mean, things don't happen
No,
overnight.
obviously initially, right?
Eventually, like honestly, like obviously it sounds perverse.
Initially, I'm gonna be bricked
sounds-
up all the
it sounds
time,
I get it.
but
No, listen,
realistically,
over
yeah.
time,
I have guy
I'm only.
friends that work at the strip
Oh.
club, and I swear to God,
probably
they
like,
see
yeah.
a body and they don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
it is
My
what it
gay
is.
friends, they've been around enough bodies. I'm an artist too,
Mm-hmm.
so I grew up dancing and stuff. All my theater guy friends that are straight, nigga, we grew up changing in front of
You-
each other because we had to get on stage.
You gotta have emotional
So
contact.
they're not, and I feel comfortable around them. They're
Everything is
straight. They're
perspective
everything
based
is
on your
perspective.
experiences.
So that's
That's
what
it.
I'm saying. For
No, I
example,
get it.
But
I
then
get
also
it.
everything
I'm
is
just telling you, but
cultural.
like
I get
for the
no,
goal,
I get what you're
for the
saying.
goal that you want, right? Is like if you
I get
want
what
to
you're saying, but
desexualize
there's
breasts.
a shit ton of women that think we should all cover our hair.
I know, but so
that men stop. And then there's a half of us that are like, I'm sorry, but the hair.
But
But there
if
is.
this
It's
is
not just the
like-
Middle
if this
East.
is a female goal,
Jewish
then you
women
guys
also wear
have to
wigs
take
for
you guys
that.
have to take the lead. That's
I agree.
my point.
1,000%. I
As
agree
a
with you.
consensus, like as a
Like you guys have to have a meeting like
No,
on
no,
the
no,
on
no,
the
no.
on the
I
fifth
agree.
on the
I
fifth Wednesday of every
1,000%
month.
agree with you.
Right.
I also agree that, like he said, it's not going to happen now. It's,
It's
not going to
freedom.
happen over
I think
time.
it's also freedom of
It's-
choice and
it is.
expression.
It's always.
Because I'm not covering because I want to. I will uncover if I want to do my hair, not do my hair. Everyone has the autonomy to choose. Period.
All right.
Like if you stay behind in some certain beliefs, it's over for you, and that's how I feel.
On that note, I think we're gonna wrap this episode up.
How we
So
even gonna wrap it
basically-
up?
Imagine a
basically,
debate
you
about
have your
chicken.
worldview. I have mine.
All
We
right.
just gotta respect each other.
Imagine a
Exactly.
debate about fried
So
chicken.
I think what we really learned out here today is free the titty. And
One.
thank you for having us, Dyckman Podcast.
Thank
you know
you
they
for
weren't
joining us.
they weren't on actual air, but they're behind camera. Shout out to live.
It's okay.
Live from the MC.
Definitely make sure to check out our podcast. We're on GinTV podcast on YouTube, Instagram. Yo, please subscribe to us, like,
They
comment.
are
Yo,
not boring,
if y'all fucking with us,
Yeah, a little
tap
bit,
in.
a
No,
little
they're not. They're not. They're not. I don't even agree with all your content, but you're not boring. You're not
No.
hard to listen
I like
to.
the fact that we don't
I'm gonna
agree.
give you that.
Absolutely,
Beautiful.
that's
yeah, it's a,
that's
it's
what
a, it's a
it's
whole
different
space
opinions,
thing.
right?
Absolutely. That's
All right,
beautiful.
so before we end on three, let's all just get our titties out, okay?
I got you. I'm ready.
I can't do that. My mom would dead ass just
Because so we gotta change your mom's point of view because she still
No,
sexualizes
I just have
titties.
fear. No, I just have a fear of
crazy?
my
My mama
mom.
would kill
Yeah,
me
I would
too.
never.
What?
Yeah, I'm
Exactly.
still
So, yo,
having-
until-
honestly,
Bobby
no,
kill
no,
you,
no.
Nah, my mom cool.
No, honestly
But you don't
speaking.
want to see your titties on TV.
Yeah, I've
Nah, she
always
cool.
said
But
this.
it's not a sexual thing to her.
No, but
Because
see,
that's your son. But she's like, I didn't raise him like that. Just
but
so
I've
y'all
always
naked.
said this. I've always said, like, thank God my
You
mom like is alive and well, because if my mom wasn't, I'm a very free
Free-spirited
spirit.
person.
No, I am. My siblings tell my mom that. My mom told me the other day, like, she was trying to walk in on my sister who was changing, and my sister was like, "Mom, get out." And she was like, "Bro, you're my daughter." Like, she's like, "I'm not like Scarlett. I don't just get naked in front of everybody because that's really who I am. But I'm an artist. I grew up dancing, changing in front of everybody. I grew up modeling, I didn't care. Like,
That's your
for me,
norm.
a body's not.
But your sister's completely different.
But that's what I'm saying. See how my siblings
she's fine. She's
do
different.
sexualize the body? See what I'm trying? You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That- and that's a woman.
There's also an
And
age
that's a little
difference,
girl,
there's
and
an
that's-
upbringing difference.
No,
it's
but
age
at that
thing.
age,
And
I
that's a
was.
girl.
It's an
But
age
that's
thing.
what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say. It's all different.
And
It's
perception
completely
from
different.
the world
My
as she
friends, I
sees
bring
it.
all my friends to DR because my family lives in DR. We all the same, bro. We be changing, whatever. We don't give a fuck because we're just like, we're
This is
here.
family,
you know what
right.
I'm saying? But my
Yeah.
siblings be like, no.
But you have
bro.
a safe space to do that. That's the thing.
I have a safe mentality to think.
But also a
that's
safe
on,
space
you know what I'm
to
saying?
do that.
Yeah, I do.
That's
I do.
what it is too. You can't do that everywhere, even though it
Yeah.
doesn't matter how free of a spirit you are.
Yeah,
You
but
have
that's
a
what I'm.
safe
No,
space to
but
do that.
that's what I'm trying to say. Like, if my mom wasn't
You-
alive, I
exactly.
would be 10
There's a
times
safe
more
spirit.
fucking free. That's my other employee. All right.
All right.
Hey,
Yo,
so
Have
been
a
great.
great day, guys.
Thanks
Thank you
for
so
having us.
much.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.